do, the beautiful side of things. They can blow teams away, perhaps they weren't expected to. I mean, the Spennymoor games, Spennymoor were right up there in the playoffs, and they just absolutely blitzed them, and then turned up the next week and did the same to Bishop Stortford, who they were probably expected to. But I think the Gloucester game, the fact that they were able to grind that out, Jimmy Dean didn't. They were a step above Gloucester, in all fairness, but they never really demonstrated that they were in terms of the performance. But they got the goals that they needed. They ground it out. They defended really well, because Gloucester did grow into that game and did try and pinch a goal back, particularly in the final 20 minutes or so of the second half. So I think that's been pleasing. The most pleasing part for me is that there's two sides to this team at the moment. There is a team that, if on their day, can absolutely sweep teams aside and score an absolute hatful. But on the other side of things, they can turn up, grind out the win, and that is probably what you need in a promotion-winning season, that ability to be able to get the 3 points when you're perhaps not at your best.
Now, Lincolnshire to Norfolk, Scunthorpe to Kings Lynn, maybe not as far as you would think, but probably far enough on a Tuesday night. I think it's still stretching the National League North branding to its limit, perhaps. But what are the surroundings of the walks looking like? Now that you've got in there, I understand you may have had a few little issues getting into the ground, Ollie. It's not like you to have a tough time getting in somewhere, is it?
No, my name's always on the list when I go somewhere.
Exactly.
To be fair, as I got told by the media guy here at Kings Lynn Town, they're having quite a few teething issues tonight, because this has been deemed what he described as a high-risk fixture. There are, I think, 223 away tickets that have been sold tonight, and I don't think Kings Lynn Town, particularly given their geographical location in terms of the division, expect attendances, particularly on a midweek like that, from away support. So there's a lot more health and safety involved tonight, and he just said that may have contributed to a few teething issues. So there's a bit of confusion as to what car park I was in, where I got my pass, then where I went when I got my pass. The turnstile wasn't open when I did have my pass, but it all got sorted out in the end. It was probably me throwing a bit of a strop and thinking, I'm not going to get in time, but it was absolutely fine.
You're such a diva. Such a diva.
Well, I've got Lee Turnbull here, who knows I'm a bit of a diva probably, so he's just putting his cans on now, and I'll put his microphone. There we go.
Let's bring Lee Turnbull in. He'll be alongside Ollie Turner for this one. He's already had a strop. He's not happy because he didn't get in on time, but he's in, and we're just wondering about the surroundings. Evening, by the way. Good to have you with us.
Yeah, good evening, Mike. Yeah, Ollie was doing a lap of the ground when we got here, mate. He was, he was stropping. I can't get in here. I can't get in there. You look at us now. We're on. Honestly, where there's blame, there's a claim. We're on a rickety old gantry up here at Kings Lynn, mate. The view is excellent. The pitch is fantastic. What's not to like about it? And there's no wind. Everything's great, Mike.
That's good. That's good. What are you expecting tonight, Lee?
Tough game, really tough game. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of Kings Lynn on the build-up with the analyst, and they play 3-4-3. I think they'll sit in. I think they've got goal threats. Last season, obviously, they were very unlucky to miss out on promotion to the National League. We pinched a couple of their best players, and it's probably weakened them a little bit. But tough game, Mike. Yeah, really. Any away game's always tough, isn't it? Tuesday night down here in Kings Lynn, and yeah, it's going to be a tough game.
Ollie, what's their season look like so far? Because they're struggling a bit, aren't they?
Yeah, not great, to be honest with you. Currently 20th in the National League North this season, just one place and 1 point above the relegation zone, just 19 points from their 18 league games so far. That's such a stark contrast from coming second last season and just missing out on promotion, 2 points behind the eventual winners AFC Fylde, and then losing in the playoffs in the semi-finals to the other team who got promoted from this league, Kidderminster Harriers. It's just not gone right. I know they lost Tommy Widrington towards the tail end of last season, who took the job at Aldershot Town, the former Grimsby Town player. Brought in Mark Hughes, didn't work out for him, just one win in 12 and knocked out of the FA Cup by Aveley before he got sacked. And they've brought in Adam Lakeland, who was at Curzon Ashton. He was manager of the Curzon Ashton side who inflicted Scunthorpe United's first league defeat of this season. And from the sounds of it with Jimmy Dean, I'm sure we'll hear more from him later, it sounds like Kings Lynn may come here, even though they're on home patch, and just try and frustrate, which we've seen a few teams do to Scunthorpe United this season already, in fairness.
Well, we will hear from Jimmy Dean in a few minutes. We'll hear more from Ollie and Lee at the Walks as well. Back with JT and Crofty at Blundell Park as we build up to our two commentaries on Tuesday Night Sport from BBC Radio Humberside. For the second time then in 9 days, Grimsby Town are taking on Slough in the FA Cup. But joint interim head coach Sean Pearson says the recent clash didn't teach him much more about the sixth-tier side.
Not much I didn't already know, to be honest with you. I'd watched plenty of them. I had a lot of respect for the way they play. I spoke to the manager after the game, explained to him. I said to him, really amazes me their league position. And like I say, I think they've lost 2 in 15 or 16 games now, which is crazy when you see where they are in the league. But they score lots of goals. They're a threat going forwards. We've got areas we feel like we can exploit against them, and we're hoping to take more advantage of tomorrow night. But we learnt a little bit from the first games in terms of how we might approach certain situations a little bit different, but that will hopefully we'll see the benefit of that. And you'll be glad to be back on grass for it? Yeah, definitely. I think, to be fair, I'm not one to moan too much about surfaces. In an ideal world, that surface would have been wet, which would have helped the game, the flow of the game 100%, but it's pointless. It's pointless moaning about it. There's nothing you can do about it, so don't moan about it, basically. I think, and the other thing on that is just you play on different grass pitches. We play on Blundell Park and then we go to Forest Green at the weekend. The two surfaces will be different. Everybody will say, oh, it's grass, it's the same, but every pitch plays different as in terms of that anyway, so I don't really like to throw too many excuses out there. You've had a little time to settle in the role. How are you enjoying it? No, yeah, it's been a real eye-opener. I'm not going to lie, I've absolutely loved it, loved getting stuck into it. And the pleasing thing is the players, the way they've approached to what we've tried to go after. And that was the most pleasing aspect of Saturday, was seeing that come out, as in terms of the things you work on, the things you want to see, the things you're talking to the players about actually come to fruition was a real pleasing thing. But not for us, for them, so they can get a little bit of sense of that confidence and regain that belief that they need to have moving forward. Watching on Saturday, I think I've just said to you, I think you worked harder on that sideline than I've ever seen you worked harder on the pitch. You were kicking and heading every ball, weren't you? Yeah, I very different. Just the emotion of the game. I think the way the game was, just obviously end up a little bit more involved in it. I think at Slough, obviously a bit more of a calmer game, so you're still fully invested, just in a different way. And I think one thing, I've always said this, just because I show emotion doesn't mean I'm any more passionate or emotional than anybody else, just because somebody maybe don't show it as much. And I think, so I think that's a really important thing. Just because somebody shows a lot of emotion doesn't necessarily mean they are more than anybody else. But you've got to balance that emotion with a calm head, I suppose. Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think a lot of the emotion was more just trying to really positively reinforce the messages that we were going after. It wasn't... There might have been the odd occasion when I'm shouting at somebody to get back or whatever, but in general, it's trying to be positively reinforce everything that we're trying to do.
That's Sean Pearson chatting to John Tonder ahead of the game tonight. It's the FA Cup replay against Slough Town. Just for Mariners fans listening as well, just to tee you up, for a week on Friday, BBC Radio Humberside, in conjunction with Grimsby Town, will be hosting a fans forum. It'll take place from McMenemy's at Blundell Park. It gets underway after Sports Talk, so from 7 o'clock through until 9 o'clock. There'll be various guests in attendance, including Jason Stockwood, Debbie Cook as well, and representation from the coaching team. Now, whether that's new management by that point, or whether it will be Sean Pearson and or Ben Davies as well, but we'll wait and see on that one. But it'll be broadcast live here on BBC Radio Humberside FM digital Freeview, and it'll be available online as well to listen to wherever you are in the world, so make sure you tune in for that. It's a week on Friday. It's a Grimsby Town Fans Forum here on BBC Radio Humberside. Now, there might be 19 places between the two sides, but Jimmy Dean thinks tonight's opponents offer a far more serious threat than the table suggests for Scunthorpe United. He told James Hogarth he expects Kings Lynn to be a lot higher come the end of the season.
Yeah, I think it's a very much a false position. They had ambitions of promotion. They finished second last year. It's why they changed manager, because it wasn't where they wanted to be in the league. They're very well financed. I know that because I speak to the chairman quite a bit. They're very well financed. That's why the manager's left his comfort zone in Curzon and gone there. The ambition. It's a full-time club. I'd really anticipate over the next month or two, that league position will change.
What kind of team are they? You touched on it there, talking about Jacob Butterfield. How do they like to play?
I think they'll play a 3-4-3. They'll play a box in midfield. They'll sit deep. Similar to his cousin's side. They'll sit deep. They'll look for, they've got the three big centre halves and a big centre forward. They'll look for moments from set pieces or counter attacks. They'll try and frustrate us. They were very good at that, cousin. It's not a criticism. It's the fact. The fact I acknowledge it. And we understand it means it's a compliment. But I think that's what they'll try and do. They play out when they can. We just got to show patience at the right times, James, and pick our moments when we attack. What we don't want is another situation where what we had at Curzon, where we're too gung-ho, we chase the game too hard, we play into their hands, and they nick one against the run of play. I think a couple of attacks, they minimised what we'd done because they defended the box real well. Had a couple of attacks and scored from one of them. It was a good goal, well taken goal. So we don't want that situation again.
You're coming up against one of the league's other full-time teams, as you say, plus you haven't got the added fact that you're having to travel, despite the fact it's National League North, to the outskirts of Oxfordshire, say, or Gloucester. Those two things, do they come into your thinking?
Yeah, they have done. We're gonna get the players to drive down in their own cars for comfort, but we're going to have a pre-match meal, which is something we haven't done this season, just to make sure we're nice and early. We get there in good time. We eat together. We prepare well. I think that's stuff that can help us. So yeah, it has played into our mind a little bit, and we have changed probably how we'd approach Banbury. Let's say that with the distance.
Jimmy Dean talking to James Hogarth. We'll be back to Ollie and Lee in just a few minutes' time. We'll hear from Michael Clunan before kick-off, and we'll hear a couple of bits from him at half-time as well. So if you're a Scunthorpe United fan, make sure you keep your radio tuned into us at half-time as well. Let's head back to Blundell Park, chat quickly to John Tonda and Gary Croft again. So we've spoken about the FA Cup then, JT, that opportunity for Town, and last year gave so many great memories. It's going to take a lot to have something like that again, but you never rule it out. There is an opportunity here tonight for Town, and different proposition when you consider playing on the artificial pitch down at Slough as opposed to getting them back at home, familiar surroundings, the surface that they'd want to play on as well. The opportunity's there for Town to at least push on and play Oxford in the next round now, isn't there?
Well, there is, but you talk to any of the sides that Town played last season and they'd have said the same thing, and Town won every one of them. So they're going to be really up for it, Slough Town, today. As I said earlier, I thought Town were a little bit fortunate to come back here and get a second chance. They'll be looking to take that chance now. But, I think, league form, where people are in the league, as we saw last season, doesn't mean a lot. And you could almost, it's the way that the football goes, isn't it? That, sixth round last year, out to minnows this year. And Town were the minnows last season, and now that the boot is on the other foot, and Town have got to really dig in and show that they deserve the right to go through.
Yeah, Crofty, sorry, go on, Crofty. Yeah.
No, I was just coming in there. It's a big leveler, isn't it, that surface, as well as everything that had gone on at Town. You had that as well. It was a difficult one. Then pitches are a nightmare when they're dry. It's true, but both teams had to play on it. Obviously, they were more used to it, so I do think it was a bit of a leveler. But the Slough Town team, they can score a goal, 7 in the last 2. Isn't it, that they've scored now? So, and as well as the one they got against Town, they could have had more against Town as well. So yeah, like John says, it's a great opportunity for them. What a fantastic occasion it is to be here at this stadium, and the boot is definitely on the other foot. Town just need to keep a run going. I think it's just all about being professional today, doing their jobs, concentrating, nobody taking the foot off the pedal, everyone playing for their places. And I think Sean and Ben have kept that focus by the looks of this team, and the way they talk and everything. So you can change certain things, but the focus and the attitude doesn't change. And I think you've got two good pros who have kept the team quite focused from what I can see.
And Danny Rose has scored in his last 2 games now as well. Is he the kind of player, from what you're seeing, can Town look and lean on him to be that player that will produce regular goals for them?
I think he can be. I think what he needs to do is a little bit more support, which I think he had on Saturday with players from midfield getting forward, and also Pike in particular coming forward, and Khan on the other side. So yeah, and Town were just generally more on the front foot than they had been perhaps in recent games. but then again they had to be because they conceded in the first minute. So in a way, it told them how they had to play. Whether or not there was another plan in place, I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so, but they did well, and that was, as I say, the first time that they've come from behind to win a game.
Crofty?
Yeah, they were on the front foot, I thought. They got caught out, but I think even in the brief spell before they went behind, I thought it was quite a positive start, and then that just happened, and they got cut open, which was a big worry, but they seemed to stay focused. I looked at Sean on the bench. He stayed calm at that stage, and just thought, we've got to go about our business and do it. And I just thought the players looked like they wanted to take a risk a bit more and entertain the home fans. Yeah, they were taking chances, leaving men and going ahead, especially down the left. I thought Glenn was great, and he's probably had a chat with Sean and said, what you're good at is going forward, so let's see you do it a bit more. Yeah, when we're in possession of the ball, enjoy the ball, get forward and take risks and go and make something happen. And we want to see that at home. I think one of the biggest criticisms this year has been the lack of entertainment here, the lack of risk taking. That's a bit of a Paul Hurst type of team built from the back, isn't it? But this was a little bit more exciting at the weekend, which was good to see.
We'll recap the team news at Blundell Park in a few minutes' time, likewise at the Walks. Let's head back there just briefly, though, and chat to Ollie Turner and Lee Turnbull again. Ollie, in terms of the Iron, familiar territory for a few United players tonight, this, isn't it?
Yeah, I think most people know about 3 of the 4. Michael Clunan joined, having left Kings Lynn Town in the summer. The captain won 2 promotions during his 8 seasons with the club. Ross Barrows was also here for a couple of seasons as well, before then going on to join Altrincham, and Tyler Denton as well, here for 3 campaigns. But the one that maybe people have forgotten or didn't know about is Andrew Boyce. Was at the previous iteration known as Kings Lynn back in 2009, made 22 appearances for the club, and then they folded. They were wound up in the High Court with £77,000 worth of debt owed to HMRC. He left the club, continued his career, went elsewhere, and then Kings Lynn Town were founded in 2010 and have climbed through the divisions. We're up as far as the National League a couple of seasons ago, now back down in the National League North.
It almost makes Andrew Boyce look like an old man when you go back to 2009, doesn't it?
He is an old man, yeah. Very, very experienced.
I'll let you say that.
Old man. Yeah, listen, Boyce is great. He's a great character. Obviously, he's been with us before. He's a leader. He's a leader, Mike, and him being on the pitch has certainly helped us, I think, alongside Will Evans, that physical presence at the back at this level without being stereotypical. A lot of balls coming in the box from wide areas, from free kicks, from punts from centre halves, from set plays and long throws. Yeah, you need that physical presence. But no, Boyce is great. He's a great character and a great lad.
Speaking of leaders, just how impressed have you been with Jacob Butterfield?
Jake's his different class, isn't he? He dictates games, he dictates the tempo of the game. When we get Jacob Butterfield on the ball in that final third, as we've seen many a time this season, he's lethal off either foot, Mike. His technique and ability is way above this level, and I think he's enjoying himself. He came to the club last season, and last season, obviously, as we know, was very difficult on and off the pitch. And this season he's playing with a smile on his face. He gets on really well with Jimmy and the coaching staff. He sees himself as a leader and a voice amongst the players as well. A lot of the younger players, ask him for advice. But he's just a genuinely really lovely kid, but great footballer. Fantastically talented footballer. And we're lucky to have him.
Ollie, at Kings Lynn playing a bit of mind games, playing hard to beat in the background there?
I don't know, but it's pretty sparse here, to be honest with you. I know there are about 200 odd Scunthorpe United fans to my left-hand side, but looking at the ticket sales coming into tonight's game, the owner Stephen Cleave puts them on social media. Just 618 tickets sold tonight. That was just after 11 o'clock this morning. I know the owners come in for criticism about the ticket pricing here, and I think that's slightly showing in terms of the attendance so far. I know there are people gradually coming in, but the main stand opposite us is looking pretty sparse at the moment, bar the very cosy media rows that we're enviously looking at the moment.
That's Ollie and Lee at Kings Lynn, where they are now this evening. It's just gone 7:31. Let's recap the team news for you before we hear from Gav Holohan and Michael Clunan. First, at Blundell Park, the Mariners against Slough in the FA Cup first round replay. John Tonder.
And the Mariners make 3 changes. Luke Waterfall, Danny Amos, Arthur Ganua coming in, dropping to the bench. Anthony Glenn and Harvey Rogers. Otis Khan is off on international duty with Pakistan. It's going to be the same shape, I think, as on Saturday. They'll have to break down a Slough Town team that have made 4 changes. I expect them to play a 4-5-1. So Town have to break them down today. And they've brought a fair few fans away on our left-hand side. Let's hope their night isn't too enjoyable. Grimsby Town versus Slough Town in the FA Cup.
And the Iron at Kings Lynn, where Ollie Turner is for us.
And Scunthorpe United unchanged from the 2-0 win at home to Gloucester City on Saturday. The team in full: Fitzsimons as the goalkeeper, the back 4, Denton, Evans, Boyce and Barrows, 3-man midfield of Butterfield, Clunan the captain and Scales. Smith is on the left, Law on the right, either side of Whitehall up front. Danny Elliott is back on the substitutes bench. He replaces Cameron Wilson. He's joined by Michael Kelly, Maxime Coogan, Callum Roberts and Jack Jenkins. Kings Lynn Town tonight also unchanged.
About 12 minutes away from kick-off then, let's hear from 2 players from our 2 respective sides tonight. You're starting with Grimsby Town midfielder Gav Holohan. He's witnessed highs and lows for the club in the last couple of years, and last year's FA Cup run, he's right up there in the former category. They'll look to start another one tonight against Slough. It comes off the back of an impressive win over Morecambe on Saturday.
Yeah, it was good day all round. Thought we were good value for the 3 points, and I think we're all just pleased that the performance that we've put in got the result that it deserved, and we probably haven't got that in recent weeks, but so we're pleased to get the result.
Was there any difference in the approach to the game?
No, I think obviously we knew there was there was pressure coming into the game. We knew it was a big game, but it was just about going in with a positive mindset. I think everyone, you could see that was on the front foot. Everyone was positive, and was ready to put in a massive shift, and you could see that right from the off. And thought we played some really good stuff throughout the game, and probably should have had a few more goals and made it a bit more comfier than it was at the end. But no, it was definitely lots of positives to take.
Yourself, you seem to be playing with a little bit more freedom. Was that just because you were having a particularly good game on Saturday, or was it a different role for you?
No, I think I just, obviously the way Sean wanted us to play, me and Jamie obviously pushing a bit higher, and you know what Greeny obviously gives you when he's in there, he gives you that defensive security. He's a bit of a warrior in there. So no, I just thought that the balance was good on Saturday, and I allowed myself and Jamie to push forward and try dictate the game at the opposite end of the pitch.
How's training been since Sean and Ben took over?
It's been good, yeah. We just obviously, I'm sure Sean has touched on a couple of times, just trying to get different ideas into us, and in a short space of time, I think they've done that pretty well. So yeah, no, it's been good. It's been positive, and everyone's been enjoying it, and I think you can see that in the result on Saturday.
You're an experienced player. You've seen managers come and go. This manager in particular, perhaps, was a little bit more difficult for you, was it?
Yeah, look, it was difficult for myself personally, and the rest of the lads. We're both very fond of the gaffer, Paul and Chris. So yeah, it was sad. Obviously, that's just the way football is. I think we're well aware of that. Myself included. I've seen it. You obviously grow close to management staff, and we had some good times. And no, I can obviously only thank them for everything they've done for us. Since I've been here anyway, and no, we wish them well.
And Sean in particular, last season you were sort of playing with him, and now he's almost your boss. Is that a hard one to do as well from both sides of the fence, really?
No, not really. No, we just to be honest, he's been getting a bit of banter from everyone because like I said, he's been in the change room last year to now he's calling the shots as such, and telling us what to do. But he's been brilliant, and I think Sean's kind of fitted into the role, and Benji included, fitted into the role perfectly, and they're doing a great job so far.
You missed the game at Slough. What have the other players told you about them?
Yeah, well, obviously I watched the game, and then from what I've heard from the lads, tough game. Obviously I know it's been touched on. Obviously the Astro pitch obviously is a bit of a leveler as well, so that obviously makes it a bit more difficult going down there. But yeah, tough team, fit, willing. Although they're only part time, the lads said that they play with good energy and enthusiasm, and we'll have to expect that again tonight.
And of course, last season you were the underdogs in every game. Now it's on the other foot, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's a different challenge as such. Like I say, not going in as the underdog, and Yeah, look, we just have to focus, more so just on the game itself and not, who's the underdog, who's not the underdog. If we keep the same level of performance as we did on Saturday, we know that we'll be more than good enough to go through to the next round.
You were a big part in the cup run last year. How important was that, do you think?
Well, it was massive, massive for everyone involved with the club. Almost, great exposure for the club, and just amazing memories. And I suppose it gives you that motivation to obviously to replicate it this season would be it'd be something doing. But it makes you want to have more memories like that in the cup, and so we'll be looking to obviously get through to the next round.
And it was a great result, as we know, on Saturday, but you'll know that the one result is not enough. You've got to build on that now. Yeah, definitely, and we've kind of spoken about that. I've mentioned that to a few of the lads, that look, it was a positive performance and we're glad to get the results, but it can't be a bit of a false dawn. I think we kind of had that with the Barrow game. I think it was, we didn't perform great in that game, but we got the win. We dug out the game, and I think we all thought we'd kick on from there, and we didn't, unfortunately, for whatever reason that was. So we just can't allow that. We need to really build on it and keep that momentum and push on.
Gav Holohan chatting to John Tonda. He's in the side tonight for the Mariners, who make 3 changes to face Slough Town in the FA Cup replay. Scunthorpe United unchanged as they take on Kings Lynn Town. Michael Clunan spent 8 seasons at tonight's opponents before making the move to the Iron in the summer, and the captain says he's looking forward to returning to the walks this evening.
It's a lot smaller commute for me, so that's a plus. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to going back.
What was it like being at the club, getting those back-to-back promotions? What was it like being part of that project and that rapid rise?
Yeah, obviously, it was a very enjoyable time for me in my career. Like you said, it was back-to-back promotions. I think I felt like the club was riding a crest of a wave at that point, and I was lucky enough to be a part of that. Ian Culverhouse is an excellent manager, and I learned a lot from him playing under him, played with some great players. But yeah, I mean, I played under obviously Tommy Widrington there as well, and Gary Setchell. There was a few good managers that I played under, which was good. But I thoroughly enjoyed my time at Kings Lynn. But like I've said before, when a club like Scunthorpe comes knocking, it's very difficult to turn down.
You touched on Tommy Widrington, and he left Kings Lynn at the time right towards the end of last season when you were neck and neck with AFC Fylde. How difficult was the end of that campaign and just missing out on promotion again?
I mean, obviously the playoff game was a difficult one to take, to finish on. I think it was 92 points. I think it was in the end, which is, I think any other year probably wins you the league. But it was difficult when obviously Tommy left. It was a bit of a shock to the dressing room. It's something that we had to deal with, but I think we went on to win 7 or 8 games on the bounce after his departure, which tells you a lot about the characters in the dressing room. Obviously, when you lose in the playoffs, it's obviously a difficult one to take, and it's something we have to live with. But when you leave it to the playoffs and you don't go win the league, then it's almost a potluck. So that's what you leave it down to that. So we've only ourselves to blame for that situation. But yeah, a good season which didn't end the way we wanted it to.
Just finally on Kings Lynn, how strange is it going to be for you going there after 8 years as a player at the club to now visit as an opposition player? Yeah,
it will be strange. I mean, like you said, it was 8 years and 300 and something appearances. So it will be difficult. It will be difficult. It'll be different walking into the away dressing room. But yeah, I'm a Scunthorpe United player now, and I'm fully focused on getting this club promoted and where it belongs. And that ultimately means beating Kings Lynn Town.
The biggest and best local games live.
This is BBC Radio Humberside Sport.
So the pre-match talk is just about over. Let's get you where you need to be for your respective commentaries this evening. We'll have more from Michael Clunan at half-time. If you're an Iron fan, stick around for that. So 2 games for you tonight. One in the FA Cup. It's a replay. Grimsby Town taking on Slough Town. The Mariners have won their last 3 home games in the FA Cup. Let's see if they can make that one 4. Gary Croft and John Tonda, your commentary team for that. That will be on digital radio. It's online as well if you're in the UK on BBC Sounds. And for Scunthorpe United, currently 5 unbeaten and top of the National League North table. They're away at Kings Lynn Town, where Ollie Turner and Lee Turnbull are. That one is on 95.9 FM and online via the BBC Sport website and app. Let's get you where you need to be now.
Thank you, Mike. As Thin Lizzy play over the PA system here at the Walks, it's the National League North leaders who are in town at Kings Lynn tonight, returning to the summit of the division for the first time since September. Now the task for Jimmy Dean's side is to stay there. They come here to Kings Lynn Town unbeaten in their last 5 league matches, only lost one of their last 7 as well, following Saturday's 2-0 victory at home to Gloucester City, and also looking for consecutive away wins to boot for the first time since August. They face a Kings Lynn Town team who have struggled since missing out on promotion back to the National League last season, missed out on the league title by 2 points before losing in the playoffs. They are now down in 20th, just a place and a point above the relegation zone after taking 19 points from their opening 18 league games, and they're already under a new manager. More on that shortly, but let's bring you the team news before we chat to Director of Football Lee Turnbull. For Scunthorpe United, they are unchanged from Saturday's triumph over Gloucester. That means Ross Fitzsimons is the goalkeeper. The back four from left to right: Tyler Denton, Will Evans, Andrew Boyce and Ross Barrows. The 3-man midfield: Jacob Butterfield, Michael Clunan the captain and Kean Scales, with Connor Smith on the left, Jason Law on the right, Danny Whitehall through the middle. Danny Elliott is back on the bench for the Iron. He's joined by Michael Kelly, Maxine Coogan, Callum Roberts and Jack Jenkins. As for Kings Lynn Town, also unchanged after a tight 1-0 defeat here to Spennymoor Town. Paul Jones is their goalkeeper, reliably informed it's a 3-man central defence of Kyle Callan McFadden, Adam Crowther and Josh Coulson. Billy Jones and Cian Ronan are the wing-backs who will join in midfield. Cameron Hargreaves and George Morrison in the centre, with Jack Smith and Ben Stevens playing in behind Bartosz Cybulski up front. On the bench for the Lynnettes: Emmanuel Oke, Ben Isaacson, Ismail Fataggio, Tyler Key and Gabriel Rogers. Lee Turnbull, delighted to have you joining me tonight, as I thought you were exceptional on co-commentary at Banbury Town the other week.
You can be my age, Ollie.
Only for a hefty price. You spoke earlier about the fact that you've been watching Kings Lynn Town with the analysts at Scunthorpe United. What are they going to try and do tonight, do you think?
Well, I think because the manager's had success against Scunthorpe this season when he was at Curzon Ashton, and their approach very much was to sit in, try and counter-attack us, I think that's what Kings Lynn will do. I think they'll play for set pieces. They're a big side, you know, the centre forward their side, Balski, who used to be at Derby County, 6'5", 6'6". So they're a big, powerful team. I think for us tonight, if we can dominate possession as we have done in the majority of games, the pitch is good, there's not a breath of wind, I fancy us to go and nick the points tonight. But these will be a stern test. I know they're only 20th in the league, and sometimes when you have a promotion after promotion, as we said earlier, double promotion into National North, and they got to the playoffs, it sometimes turns the other way. The disappointment of missing out on the playoffs sometimes as a team and as a player can certainly impact you. You spoke about the crowd tonight. I'm pretty sure if Kings Lynn were up in the top half a dozen in the league, we'd be talking about maybe 1,500, 2,000 here tonight. To have less than 1,000 with great travelling support from the Iron fans, again over 200 here this evening at the Walks. I just fancy us to do like we did at Banbury, dominate possession, get the 3 in midfield, get Jacob Butterfield on the ball, get the 2 wide players inverted and picking pockets. But these will be a threat of set players.
Yeah, you mentioned it there, Lee. If you weren't listening to our pre-match coverage on BBC Radio Humberside, as of just after 11 o'clock this morning, just 618 tickets had been sold. 236 of those were season ticket holders. 223 of those were Scunthorpe United supporters. I know there has been criticism of the owner on social media about the ticket pricing this season, but Lee's point also valid that if the team were up in the higher echelons of the table, maybe more would be coming out on a cold Tuesday night in West Norfolk. Scunthorpe United are in their change away strip. It's the white shirt with the gold and black bands below the midriff, black shorts and black socks. Kings Lynn Town in the royal blue shirts with the old gold detail on the sleeves, blue shorts and blue socks as well. Our referee this evening is Josh Crofts. This is his first season officiating in the 6th tier and only his second game as a referee in the National League North. His first was here. It was a 4-1 defeat for Kings Lynn Town against Southport. A man who scored the hat-trick on that day, none other than Scunthorpe United loanee Marcus Carver.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember that. I think he ended up with Player of the Month as well, doesn't he? But yeah, he's a good kid, Carves, and getting some first team action at Southport.
Underway then here in the National League North, Kings Lynn Town against Scunthorpe United, available on 95.9 FM as well as online via the BBC Sport website and app. Just confirmation, by the way, the two assistant referees, Dan England and Dario Matthewson. Dario Matthewson, I think, is on this near side, as I recognise him because he's parked next to me. So I'm hoping he's out of earshot as to any criticism that we may or may not give him this evening. But we're underway. Scunthorpe United are in possession. The ball goes back into their defence with Andrew Boyce. It's given to Will Evans, who's immediately closed down by Ben Stevens, but escapes the press. Still going, Will Evans towards a halfway line, floats it over the top. It's chased down that right-hand side by Ross Barrows, but he won't be able to keep it in play. Kings Lynn Town throw. So we're telling you, Ross Barrows, one of 4 former Lynette's team players in the Iron starting lineup tonight, making 103 appearances for the club, 9 goals before leaving to join Altrincham in 2022. Throw for Kings Lynn Town then over on the far side. If you are syncing our commentary up, by the way, with the live stream, we are right next to the camera, so what you're seeing is hopefully what we're describing, at least for me anyway. I know that sometimes can be not great from my end. Tyler Denton on the ball at the moment, 5 yards in front of the left-hand touchline, goes long with it. It's headed away by Kings Lynn Town, brought down by Stevens, has options left and right, tries to spin away from Clunan and Smith. Kings Lynn Town keep possession here with Crowther, who looks to be the right-sided centre-half. Out wide to this right-hand side to the Gibraltar international Cian Ronan, and he concedes the throw inside the Kings Lynn Town half. So Scunthorpe United will have it down the left with Tyler Denton just over the halfway line, goes in short to Michael Clunan and then gets it back, and the ball travels back into the Scunthorpe United half here with Will Evans. Not closed down on this occasion, so dinks the ball forward into Danny Whitehall, who holds it up well, gets it back from Jacob Butterfield, and now here's Tyler Denton. Wayward pass though is intercepted by Ronan, who will spring over the halfway line here. It's floated over the top side. Balski's in behind, they're shouting for offside, and the flag does come up on this near side from Dario Matthewson. Good call, Lee Turnbull, from him.
Tight one. Yeah, I thought it was offside when the big centre forward went through. Probably just needed to hold his run. But it shows what Kings Lynn are about. I think they're going to sit in. I think they're going to try and play the game of patience and force errors from us, probably in the middle zone of the pitch rather than a really high press. Now, that'll suit us in one respect, because Will Evans is fantastic, especially with that right foot, picking out diagonals. If you can get diagonals over the back of their back three this evening, when the wing-backs have got themselves caught up the pitch, that's where we can expose Kings Lynn. And I think the quality that Jason Law's got, and certainly Connor Smith's got, picking those pockets, playing inverted, will certainly help us tonight on this big pitch. I was on the pitch earlier, Ollie. It's massive, this pitch.
It looks massive from
here.
Like
to run round it, that's for sure.
I wouldn't last 10 seconds trying to run the length of this pitch. It is massive from here up in the gantry. Ross Fitzsimons' free kick found touch, so Kings Lynn Town take the throw, but Scunthorpe United try to retrieve possession, and they have themselves a throw in down the right hand side. Jason Law will leave it for Ross Barrows to take. It's almost midway inside the Kings Lynn Town half. Barrows down the line, aiming for Danny Whitehall, who holds it up towards the right hand corner flag, digs out the cross, but it will be collected in the end by Paul Jones just on the edge of his own 6-yard area in a very loud goalkeeping kit. A yellow and red effort from here is what it looks like.
Being tangoed.
Paul Jones, experienced goalkeeper, first player to save a penalty at the new Wembley Stadium, in actual fact, all the way back in 2007. He boots it forward right-footed, only manages to pick out Michael Clunan, who slices it straight out of play for a Kings Lynn throw. And as we edge towards the 5-minute mark, Lee, this game hasn't really got going yet in the early stages.
No, all the action's in the centre of the pitch, innit? We've been guilty of giving the ball away a couple of times. Likewise, so have Kings Lynn. As I've said, Kings Lynn, I think, are happy to sit in and counter-attack against us. We should be dominating play tonight, you know, if we can get Jacob into that 10 position, and as I've said about the wide players coming in and linking play so cleverly as they have done, certainly in the last few games. But yeah, listen, sometimes you come away from home, you have a little look at the opposition, you see how it goes for the first 10-15 minutes. All I would say is whenever you do come away from home on a Tuesday night, is make sure you don't concede early. Don't give the opposition the chance to get their tails up and get on the front foot.
Here come Kings Lynn Town though. Stevens is almost behind, but Will Evans covers well, just sticks out a right foot to get the ball off of Stevens and then clears away. Whitehall chases down the clearance. Can he keep it in play? Right hand side did get in the cross on the half volley, but no Scunthorpe United player could get there first. It's hacked clear by Kings Lynn Town. Here comes the second wave of the Scunthorpe United attack with Jason Law, tries to weave his way into the penalty area. That doesn't come off. Connor Smith now just outside the area, right hand side, loops in the cross, headed away by Coulson. Back to Smith here, he can try again. Flicks it back to Ross Barrows. He fires it in low into Jason Law, straight into his feet. Law still with it. Bobbles outside of the penalty area though, and Kings Lynn Town will bring it away. They're making a hash of it here though, and Ronan's clearance is blocked behind by Tyler Denton for a Kings Lynn Town goal kick.
Yeah, first time we've seen Scunthorpe as an attacking force, isn't it? First time we've really got on the front foot in the final third. Jason Law there with some clever movement, played it out Ross Barrows. It was a great ball in. He played it low and hard, I think, into Danny Whitehall, but on the second phase, unfortunately, it's gone out for a Kings Lynn goal kick. But it's the first time we've really threatened. As I've said, sometimes it's a little bit of shadow boxing. Have a little look at the opposition. Have a look at the men around you on the pitch from Kings Lynn as well. Weigh them up a little bit. Look at their style of play. Are they going to be direct? Are they going to play through the zones? All of them things will be going through the minds of the players at the moment.
Goal kick then for Kings Lynn Town with Paul Jones, right-footed, smacks it forward down the centre of the park. Cybalski wins the header on. It will drop out wide to the left-hand side, pushed forward there by George Morrison. Scunthorpe United clear away and concede the throw. Just on Ross Barrows, when Regan Ogle's back, how fierce is that competition going to be at right back? Because they offer very differing qualities, don't they, the pair?
Indeed, when we were recruiting in the summer, we were very mindful, myself and Jimmy, on trying to get two players of an equal level for each position. You know, it's almost impossible. But we did think that Ross would really push Regan Ogle, and also there was a chance, let's be honest, of Regan Ogle leaving the football club as well. You know, he's had a fantastic time since he's been with us, Ollie, and there has been interest in Regan Ogle, so you have to try and plan ahead as well sometimes. But he's done really well, Ross Barrows, waited patiently for his opportunity, went on loan to Ilkeston, got himself match fit, and now he's a vital part of this team. Really, really good pro as well, Ross. Works hard every day. Was here as a kid, was at the football club as a kid at Scunthorpe in the academy. So again, you know, he knows what it's like, and he understands what it's like to play at Glanford Park.
Whitehall chests it onto Kean Scales here, sprays it out wide to the left-hand side with Connor Smith. Scales continues his run. Smith goes for goal, and it's turned around the post by Paul Jones for a corner kick to Scunthorpe United. First chance of the game, best chance of the game. Connor Smith with that drifting effort which looked like it was going to nestle in the bottom corner, forced a good save from Paul Jones.
Yeah, he's been so effective for us, Connor, you know, coming off the shape from the wide left on his stronger right foot, dropped his shoulder, came inside, smashed it from the edge of the box. Goalkeeper tipped it round for a corner kick.
Corner then over on the far right hand side. Jacob Butterfield is over it, gets it, passes it out left footed to Connor Smith. Connor Smith to Law, now Butterfield back to Smith, whips in the cross towards the back post. Evans is there, nods it up into the air, but it's deemed by the referee to have shoved his marker down to the ground in the process. That'll be a free kick for Kings Lynn Town inside their own penalty area.
Yeah, something that the team have been working on, you know, variety on corner kicks, and that was a 3 against 2. They managed to create a position there with Connor Smith and Jacob Butterfield in particular being prominent, with Jason Law just trying to work a different angle, Ollie, you know, instead of just throwing it in there. And sometimes if you don't get the first contact, teams like Kings Lynn can be so quick to counter attack that we just took the sting out of it. It was a great ball delivered in, but unfortunately Will Evans committed the foul in the box.
Here come Kings Lynn Town on this occasion with the Polish striker Cybalski, wide to the left hand side. Player skips past the challenge, cross comes in to the box from the left hand side. Billy Jones, the Kings Lynn Town left back there with the delivery, getting past Ross Barrows, but only managed to pick out the gloves of Ross Fitzsimons, who's wearing a fluorescent yellow goalkeeping shirt tonight with the usual pairing of the black shorts and socks as well. Rolls it out to Andrew Boyce. Boyce will deliver the ball across defence to Will Evans. Again, Kings Lynn Town at the moment hanging back with their press for the time being. And then Smith closes in on Denton. Here is Tyler Denton again, the Scunthorpe United left back, into Connor Smith. He's bundled over by Ronan, and there's a free kick here for Scunthorpe United, midway inside their own territory, down the left-hand side, right in front of the left-hand touchline.
Yeah, you just got to be careful of enticing Kings Lynn on. You know, taking that extra touch from the defenders sometimes entices Kings Lynn on. You know, You've just got to be patient in your build-up. I get that, but now and again, as a defensive unit, just move the ball a little bit quicker into midfield. I mean, we've hardly seen Jacob Butterfield touch the ball, have we? In the opening
the corner
exchanges.
Was his first few touches, wasn't it?
But certainly as a defensive unit, just got to move the ball a little bit quicker at times there, so the opposition don't get a sniff of it.
Well, Michael Cloonan's committed the latest foul, so it will be a Kings Lynn Town throw-in from the left, deep inside the Scunthorpe United half. In it comes, hung up into the penalty area. Coulson with the header on towards the back post. They're trying to bring it down here. Morrison plays it wide to the right to Cameron Hargreaves. Now Coulson again, chops onto his left foot into the penalty area. Here he goes, flashes it across goal, and there's a scorpion kick at the back post there. But the player in question looks like it's Stevens who's down on the turf. Just can't keep that scorpion effort down. Some goal it would have been had he managed to find the target. Instead, it's a Scunthorpe United goal kick.
Yeah, dangerous moment there from Kings Lynn, their first effort on goal, even though it went high and wide over the crossbar. But it was Josh Coulson, the centre half, wasn't it, who wriggled his way through there and managed to whip a great ball in for Stevens' back stick. And as you rightly pointed out, a scorpion kick, that would have been some goal. If a bit like Dom Solanke's at the weekend, if anyone saw that one, tried to adapt his body there and flick it in, but thankfully for us it went wide.
I mean, that would grace the Scunthorpe United goal of the season. Contenders that one of their players scored it at the other end.
There's a few of them this season already, isn't there, for goal of the season? Some wonderful strikes from our players this season already.
Evans almost gets the ball caught under his feet, gets it back to Fitzsimons, who boots it away. Danny Whitehall's quite clearly having his shirt pulled there by Crowther, but play continues. Cloonan nods it on halfway. Butterfield back to Cloonan. It's a pass that was behind the Scunthorpe United captain, and Kings Lynn Town regain possession here. They play it in behind for Billy Jones, left hand side, just about on the edge of the penalty area. Still with Jones, into the box he goes, drifts in the cross, right footed, chested down by Stevens, flicks it towards goal, and it's headed on by Cybulski, but gathered by Ross Fitzsimons.
Yeah, Stevens has been a threat, hasn't he? Just looking there, one of our players down, Will Evans. But yeah, Stevens has been a threat, playing in that kind of number 10 position behind the main striker, getting into the box, chopping off either foot. He had the scorpion kick effort and then had another volley on target there. So yeah, good little spell of pressure from Kings Lynn. Not that Ross Fitzsimons has had a save to make in the game, but yeah, just a little bit of pressure from Kings Lynn building.
13 minutes gone if you're just listening in on BBC Radio Humberside. Kings Lynn Town 0, Scunthorpe United 0 on 95.9 FM. And you can listen to us as well online via the BBC Sport website and app. Get in touch during the commentary if you want. 81333 on the text. Start your message with the letters RH. Cloonan goes down. Stevens has committed the foul.
Yeah, you know what? A little bit naughty that. Just followed in on Mikey Cloonan there with a forearm across the back of his neck, and no complaints from Mikey Cloonan, but yeah, a little bit late, a little bit naughty there from Stevens. He's indicating he only pushed him.
There was definitely a forearm in there.
Only pushed him
into the back of Cloonan's head. I don't think there was any malice involved. Just eager to try and get a foothold on the ball.
Yeah, and it gives us a chance to get Andrew Boyce and Will Evans forward now as well.
Well, the free kick will be taken from just behind the halfway line, left of centre with Jacob Butterfield. Will Evans and Andrew Boyce have gone up from the back for this one. They go towards the right hand side of the pitch, just outside of the penalty area at the moment. Butterfield almost gesturing to go short here, and he does, to Cloonan inside the centre circle. 1-2 between the pair. It's back with Butterfield, who drives forward into Connor Smith just outside of the box, whips it in. Whitehall takes a heavy touch to try and turn it around the defender, but covering is Ronan, and Kings Lynn Town clear with Crowther. Cloonan with the header back towards the Kings Lynn Town penalty area, but that's gathered by George Morrison, the Fleetwood Town loanee. He tries to get Kings Lynn on the front foot. That's intercepted by Scales, who races away from the challenge of Cybulski. Down the line to Law. I think Morrison may have just pinched in there first. He has. digs out the clearance left-footed. But Scunthorpe United getting into the box again. Shot from Scales left-footed. Blocked behind by Josh Coulson for a second Scunthorpe United corner kick from the right of this first half.
Yeah, really good work there from Cian Scales on the right-hand side. What Cian's got, Ollie, he's got energy. He's got energy and he's got drive and he's quite robust. You know, when he runs at you, he can go either way. And that was certainly... It's a corner kick, isn't it? Yeah, it's a corner kick to Scunthorpe now, yeah.
Butterfield is the lone man over it, swings it in left-footed,
yes.
Boyce with the header, and Scunthorpe United take the lead here at Kings Lynn Town in the 16th minute. It's Andrew Boyce's first goal of the season, his 5th for the club in total. Wicked delivery from the right-hand side from Jacob Butterfield, an in-swinger. The marking was poor, but Andrew Boyce made no mistake. Powered his header home into the bottom left-hand corner of the Kings Lynn Town net. And as I say, in the 16th minute here at the Walks, it's Kings Lynn Town 0, Scunthorpe United 1.
Yeah, really simple set piece, wasn't it? Jacob Butterfield, left-footed in towards the near post area. They'll be really disappointed, Kings Lynn, with that. It was a bit soft, wasn't it? Boyce's managed to strong-arm his marker and stoop down to head it low to the goalkeeper's left in the bottom corner. Great goal for us. I often think when we take the lead home or away, you know, we then step on the gas a little bit, but Kings Lynn will be really disappointed with that, but absolutely delighted for old man Boycey.
Well, I was about to say, I think Andrew Boyce heard you calling him an old man earlier, and he's decided to say, well, hang on a minute, still got energy in the old legs just yet. 34-year-old. Here come Kings Lynn Town looking for an equaliser though. Cybulski into the penalty area and he flashes his shot into the side netting. Took a deflection on the way through, and Ross Fitzsimons is hammering his defenders, asking why they allowed Cybulski to get that far. Kings Lynn Town corner kick from the left.
Yeah, rightly so as well. You're most vulnerable, aren't you, when you've just scored a goal. All of a sudden the celebrations carry on, you switch off a little bit, and just allowed Kings Lynn to break down that left hand side, which they've threatened a few times, forcing a corner kick.
We've got a number of players, Kings Lynn Town, inside the 6-yard box at the moment, trying to cause havoc. Corner comes in from the left towards the near post. Whitehall's back to head it away. Billy Jones nods it wide to the left-hand side. It's lofted up into the air by Stevens towards the Scunthorpe United box. Crowther's gone down. It's being juggled around in the penalty area. Shouts of handball from the Kings Lynn Town players, claiming that there was a hand from Will Evans, but the referee immediately waved it away. We're still going here, and now Scunthorpe United maybe can counter-attack. Scales coming forward down the left-hand side, but Whitehall takes a composed touch back to Tyler Denton, and then he gives possession away. Now Kings Lynn Town will try again. Stevens, midway inside the iron half, lays it out wide to the left-hand side to Billy Jones. Has got Jason Law and Ross Barrows for close company. Drives to the byline, does Jones. Too heavy a touch, though. Out for a Scunthorpe United goal kick.
Yeah, I think there was certainly an appeal from Kings Lynn for a handball. I don't think it was deliberate. I think it's come up and struck Will Evans on the arm, but certainly wasn't a deliberate movement from him. But going back to the goal, yeah, fantastic that we score off a set piece. Lads work really hard with the coaching staff, in particular Andy Butler on the set plays. They'll all be delighted with that, you know. The analyst and certainly Andy Butler work really, really hard on identifying strengths and weaknesses that the opposition have.
Well, I remarked on it, I think, on Saturday, the fact that the set piece is one of the touchstones of what Jimmy Dean first worked on. I think back to that, his first win over Dagenham and Redbridge, and the goal from the set piece from Ben Richards-Everton, I think, with the header and the routine that they went for on that afternoon.
And it's the one thing that, you know, you work on during the week, Ollie, don't you? You know, you take time out to make sure that you do, you know, a dozen set pieces.
Kings Lynn Town mop up the danger. Jones can't find Stevens. Cybulski will try and retrieve possession, but Scunthorpe United have it back, and it's into their penalty area with Ross Fitzsimons. A latest score elsewhere, by the way, if you want to catch our other commentary on digital radio, also online via BBC Sounds. Grimsby Town 2, Slough Town 1. Goals from Raquel Pike and Danny Rose for the hosts at Blundell Park so far. Ball in midfield with Stevens. Guides it wide to the right-hand side with Ronan. They're in the Scunthorpe United half at the moment, but then they retreat back to Crowther. Crowther looking for a pass. Picks out here Smith. Back to Hargreaves, just over halfway. Cameron Hargreaves, the son, of course, of Chris Hargreaves.
That's it, former Town player, Chris.
Will Evans. Scunthorpe United have the ball back. Across the fence it goes to Andrew Boyce. Boyce, as we were saying, a forgotten man in terms of one of the 4 players who have previously played for Kings Lynn Town. Back then they were known as Kings Lynn in 2009 before they were wound up in court, and Boyce departed to continue his career elsewhere.
It's always nice to come back somewhere and score, isn't it, Ollie, as well? You know, even though he was here on loan, you know, I'm sure Boyce was absolutely delighted with that header.
Wonder if he'll remember. It's only the 22 appearances he made here in the end.
Throw for 22 good ones, though, I bet.
Hope so. Denton's throw into Law, but the arm was up. The shouts of handball, the cry of handball came immediately from the supporters beneath us in the terracing below, and the referee agrees it's a free kick.
But that's where we've been so effective, haven't we? You know, Jason Law there playing wide right, ends up almost inside left. And that's what Jimmy's been saying to the wide players, you know, go and link play. Go and roam around a little bit, cause the opposition some problems by playing in pockets almost like 2 number 10s behind Danny Whitehall. And that's why it's so important as well that Danny Whitehall gets hold of the ball. You know, he's really good, call it the garage door, when things are coming in off his chest, and he can protect it and he can lay things off. But your 2 wide players then become 2 number 10s, which gives the opposition all sorts of problems.
Who will come out on top in this tussle? It's Scunthorpe United. Keane Scales brings it away. Doesn't have really too many options. Tried to wait for the contact and then win the free kick, but the referee's told Scales to get back up onto his feet. Long from Kings Lynn Town comes off the back of Cybulski, and that allows Will Evans to nip in. He brings the ball away under pressure at the moment, waits for the pass. Evans keeps it. He's done well there. Weren't too many free options available, and waves his right arm out in frustration at his forward players for not giving him support.
Like a baby giraffe crawling all over you there, isn't he, the big 19 there, Cybulski? Yeah, he's certainly all arms and legs, and he must be, what, 6'6"? Ollie, nearly as big as you.
Well, I'm 6'4", so he must be taller than me, yeah.
But he is, isn't he? Look at him, he's like a big beanpole, but he's effective, he's rangy, he's a bit Peter Crouchy, isn't he?
Yeah. He actually scored here on his AFC Fylde debut, which became obviously quite controversial given Fylde finished 2 points clear of Kings Lynn Town at the top in the end.
Yeah, it was them 2, wasn't it, that were fighting for the automatic promotion slot all season.
Fitzsimmons guides it from right to left, aiming for Connor Smith. It flies over his head, but Ronan's as well, and Ronan flicked it on, got the final touch. It's a Scunthorpe United throw, and Smith will bowl it back to Tyler Denton to take. Midway inside the Kings Lynn Town half, down the left. Denton waits for support, goes short to Scales, almost gets it back. It's poked out of play by Stevens for another Scunthorpe United throw-in on the left-hand side. Denton lobs it infield, this time to Michael Clunan inside the centre circle, goes short with the pass forward to Jason Law. It's guided out wide to the right here with Ross Barrows, level with the Kings Lynn Town penalty area. Now back to Andrew Boyce. They're camped inside the Kings Lynn Town half at the moment. Clunan breaks the lines of the pass to Law, pokes it on to Barrows, first time cross. Whitehall almost met it, ghosting round at the near post, but couldn't make contact, and Kings Lynn Town clear away.
Yeah, just having more influence in the middle of the park there. Mikey Clunan playing as the pivot. He dictates play really well, but he's a good talker, Ollie. He's a good communicator. You know, he directs traffic in there. Such a good player for us.
Kings Lynn have given it away. Scunthorpe United back on the attack with Law. Down the right-hand channel, onto his right foot, gets the cross in towards the near post again. Crowther heads away and Kings Lynn Town clear, but straight back to Scunthorpe United. They are turning the screw as they look for a second goal. Butterfield to Scales into the centre circle now. Actually, it drifts just outside of it with Will Evans, and they work it from right to left to Tyler Denton. Back to Michael Clunan.
Good spell of play, a little bit, you know, more composure now. The players have eked out the first 20 minutes. We've managed to get the goal as well, a little bit more possession, as I've said, going through Clunan all the time in the middle of the park.
Law, 30 yards from goal, strikes it left-footed from distance. It's blocked. Now Kings Lynn will try and counter-attack. Stevens twists and turns, keeps the ball at his feet. Drifts it to Cybulski down the right-hand side. Ronan's coming up in support down that right-hand flank. He goes back to Stevens, and here is Ronan. The Gibraltar crossing in right-footed towards the back post. Fitzsimons is there to gather.
Yeah, excellent there from Ross. Good anticipation there from Ross Fitzsimons as well. And as we've mentioned previously, his distribution is so good. He just rolls it short there to Mikey Clunan this time. But right foot, left foot, he can ping a ball, can't he? You know, so many times he's been responsible for us transitioning play and getting the options and attacks at the other end of the pitch. Yeah. Outside of the Football League, he's as good as it gets, you know. I think Ross Fitzsimons. Yeah, he's really, really good off either foot.
As I was saying to you in our pre-match build-up before the Banbury game, I thought his distribution in the Spennymoor match was really impressive, just being able to work space and move the opposition around the pitch.
He sees pitches as well, you know, he sees it, he gets the ball, he collects it and he pings it, you know, and such precision off either foot. Absolutely outstanding.
Kings Lynn Town have a throw-in on the halfway line down the left wing. It's Callan McFadden who's going to hurl it down the line, nodded up into the air. It'll be eventually collected by Cybulski. He's brought down by the trailing leg of Ross Barrows, and Kings Lynn Town have a free kick here in a promising position from the left-hand side, level with the Scunthorpe United penalty area.
As pointed out at the start of the game, you know, this is where their threat will be. You know, free kicks, corners, long throws, throwing it in there. They've got 5 or 6 6-foot plus players in the Kings Lynn blue. This is where you've got to make sure you block your runners, you pick up your man, you're switched on, no one gets a free header.
Stevens over the free kick, Coulson and Crowther and Callan McFadden all up from the back, the 3 central defenders. Stevens over it, right-footed, one-man wall of Jason Law. In comes a free kick towards the near post. Boyce, the goal scorer, with an important header away, and that is absolutely lashed high wide and into the car park. And fortunately that's not hit the work car that I'm driving in tonight. It's a Scunthorpe United goal kick.
Yeah, cleared it out the walks, and we'll have to go for a run to get that ball back, won't they? Yeah, but again, excellent delivery from Kings Lynn, whipped in, really dangerous area, well defended from our boys at the back there, and it fell out to the midfield player who skied it, as you said, into the car park.
Yeah, someone who was walking out of the car park at the same time as me said we need a bus to get from here to the ground. Ross Barrows waits for the ball to drop before pinging it forward right-footed on the half volley. Ronan heads it up into the air over the halfway line, flicked on by Morrison, and the final touch is off a Scunthorpe United player to put it out of play right in front of the dugouts opposite us as part of the main stand for a Kings Lynn Town throw on the left. Down the line it goes. I think Barrows has got a flick on there. Kings Lynn Town keep it, and they will switch play. That's an optimistic crossfield ball. Will Ronan be able to keep it in? He will. Fair play. Cross comes in from the right-hand side. More good goalkeeping from Ross Fitzsimons.
Yeah, it's the third time that Ross has come and been dominant there and took the pressure off the back four, because Kings Lynn have had multiple crosses coming in from either side, but excellent work from Ross Fitzsimons. Really, really good.
Paul Jones hangs his clearance up into the air, the Lynette's goalkeeper. He'll eventually come down in the centre circle for Kean Scales, prods it to Jacob Butterfield, pushes it into the feet of Jason Law now. Law trying to twist and turn away from several bodies in royal blue. Butterfield swerves it out to the right, cross comes in from Scales, it's blocked up into the air, and eventually Hargreaves will bring it down. The former Bristol Rovers man, Cybulski with the flick on, but there's no runner in behind, and it's straight back with Scunthorpe United and their goalkeeper Ross Fitzsimons.
Yeah, I think Jimmy will be really pleased with the opening half an hour of the game. Ollie, obviously we scored a good goal off a set piece. We've limited Kings Lynn to snatched chances. They haven't really had any meaningful possession in the game, Kings Lynn. We've had the majority of possession, which again we normally do in National North, but also as well we've threatened in wide areas and we've got good balls in the box. The only thing I would say is Danny Whitehall just seems a little bit isolated at times. Seems as though he's the only one in the box, which away from home and you're 1-0 up, I don't mind at all. But just now and again, maybe a little bit more support, maybe from Jacob Butterfield and Kean Scales in those advanced midfield positions.
As Lee says, we're heading towards the half-hour mark here at the Walks. Kings Lynn Town 0, Scunthorpe United 1. If you're just listening in on 95.9 FM or online via the BBC Sport website and app, Andrew Boyce with the only goal so far, heading home a Jacob Butterfield corner, another assist for the National League North's Player of the Month for October. Poked back to Ross Fitzsimons, who just casually drives out first time with his right foot straight into Tyler Denton. Easy as you like for the Scunthorpe United shot stopper. Will Evans turns away from Stevens, guides the ball back to Fitzsimons, who takes a few touches and then just lofts it forward effortlessly into Butterfield. Now Clunan, wide to the right to Barrows, still inside the Scunthorpe United half at the moment. Clunan on the ball now, the captain for the hosts. Spent 8 seasons here at the Walks, won 2 promotions. Scales back into Clunan inside the centre circle. Clunan finds Butterfield with the pass just over the halfway line. Now Barrows out wide on the right hand side, back to Jacob Butterfield. Scunthorpe United taking their time with this latest attack. Into Whitehall, Butterfield again, Whitehall once more, good 35 yards from goal. Back to Scales just outside of the centre circle, and they move it over to the left hand side this time. Patiently probing here, the Iron. Denton to Butterfield, turns away from Hargreaves, still has the ball at his feet despite significant pressure from the Lynette's midfielder. Scunthorpe here just recycling possession, waiting for an opening. They just go back now to their goalkeeper Fitzsimons, well outside of his penalty area. Lashes it forward right-footed. Header away from Callan McFadden. Hargreaves back to Coulson, and now Kings Lynn Town will enjoy a spell in possession here. Ronan to Crowther on the edge of his own penalty area. Stands his clearance up into the night sky, and Cybulski, in contesting the header with Will Evans, is offside. It'll be a free kick to Scunthorpe United.
Yeah, we've had a lot of possession in the game so far. 1-0 up in it. Looking as though we're probably the more likely team to open up and get another opportunity on goal. I think Kings Lynn have been limited at just lumping the ball in the box and not really worked Ross Fitzsimons, and that's a good thing obviously from our perspective. But yeah, some good controlled possession from the Iron.
Hargreaves brings it down for the hosts and is clattered into by Cian Scales. Free kick which is taken quickly. Ronan on the ball for the Lynette. Played in the Europa Conference League last season for the Lincoln Red Imps. Now Crowther back to Ronan, midway inside the Kings Lynn Town half. Down the line it goes to Cybulski, holds it up away from Denton, but can't get the pass back to a teammate. It's intercepted by Smith, and Scunthorpe United and Cian Scales does well there. It was a pass with slightly too much weight on it, but it got a sliding tackle in to marshal the ball back to a teammate. And now Scunthorpe United will build the foundations of this latest attack from defence with Evans. 1-2 between him and Butterfield. Over to the right hand side of that central defence now with Andrew Boyce. Looks up, whips it forward into Whitehall. He can't hold that up though, and Kings Lynn Town have it back with Stevens. He's fouled by Clunan, and then he's shoved in rather petulantly to Connor Smith. Cian Scales rather, sorry.
Cian's going to get a yellow.
Said one word too many there.
Yeah, it must be for dissent, because Ben Stevens, the Kings Lynn attacker there, that's the second or third time he's been guilty of leaving an arm or a shove on one of our players. But in the referee's wisdom, he gave Cian a yellow card.
And it's a free kick for Kings Lynn Town. Stevens waiting to take it. Signed in the summer, has been around non-league, was part of Jamie Vardy's V9 academy back in 2018. He lofts in the free kick. Cybulski nods it on. Protests beneath us that Cybulski was being pulled around there, but no decision given. Back with the hosts, and Ronan goes long with the ball forward. Cybulski brings it down that right hand channel, being watched closely by Will Evans, who clearly has an arm or two on the shoulder of Cybulski, but play continues with Morrison. Back to the edge of the centre circle with Callan McFadden. Not enough whip on that pass and fizz on it, so the defender goes back to a central defensive teammate. Denton sliding in there heavily but fairly to win the ball off of Smith.
Yeah, great challenge there. Yeah, great challenge from Tyler Denton there, and just let the Kings Lynn right winger know that he was there and he was going to smash him. Excellent. When you see that and you take the ball and everything, that's a really committed play there from Tyler Denton.
As we head in towards the final 10 minutes or so of this first half. There's a bit of bite to this game.
There is. Not the greatest game in the world, not overly free-flowing, is it? We've had the majority of possession, which I always expect from us, with good technicians in the team. They've got the threats, namely they're a big side and they're going to stick it in the box and they're going to try and work our centre-backs and our back line. But we've been fairly comfortable without tempting fate. We've looked pretty comfortable.
Coulson clears for Kings Lynn Town. Denton wins a header first, ahead of Smith. Now Butterfield onto his right foot, then swivels away from Hargreaves, but can't pick out a teammate for Scunthorpe United. Ronan clears for the host. Cybalski holds it up, but Denton's there first. Nice back heel to Will Evans, and they regain possession, and it's back with their own goalkeeper Ross Fitzsimons on the edge of the Scunthorpe United D. Wide to the right hand side with Scales, back to Andrew Boyce, and it's back into the penalty area for Fitzsimons, but he's not got enough on that clearance, and here come Kings Lynn Town with Jack Smith on the edge of the penalty area, whips in right footed. Clunan got there first ahead of Cybalski and puts it behind for a corner.
Yeah, uncharacteristic mistake there from Ross Fitzsimons. I think he was caught in two minds whether to try and fizz it into Clunan in midfield or go bigger. Unfortunately it went to the Kings Lynn man, and they've forced a corner kick.
10 minutes to go of normal time in this first half. Kings Lynn Town 0, Scunthorpe United 1. Andrew Boyce with the goal, but the home side have a corner kick from the right here with Ben Stevens. Has Billy Jones offering the short option, another Fleetwood Town loanee in this squad. It's hung up into the penalty area, head on towards the near post, bouncing around in the box. Brilliant save by Fitzsimons on the goal line, but the rebound is tucked in, and it's Josh Coulson with the leveller for the hosts in the 37th minute. Corner kick wasn't dealt with. There was a glancing header at the far post. Fitzsimons made an absolutely terrific initial save, but Coulson was there to thump home the rebound into the bottom right hand corner, and Kings Lynn Town have their equaliser inside the final 10 minutes of this first half. Josh Coulson with it makes it Kings Lynn Town 1, Scunthorpe United 1.
Yeah, I think we identified Kings Lynn's threats, and they were going to throw the ball in, and set pieces were going to be important to defend. A little bit of a scramble then. It's Coulson, the big centre half, that's managed to slide it in after Ross Fitzsimons made a fantastic close range save, and then it's bounced back out, and it's Josh Coulson, the centre back, that's managed to squirm it into the bottom right hand corner.
We go again then. Scunthorpe United's kick-off in the 38th minute. It's now all square at the Walks. Kings Lynn Town 1, Scunthorpe United 1. And Evans goes along with the ball forward. Header away from Crowther, down to George Morrison. And Kings Lynn trying to play out from the back. It's swung in towards Jack Smith for the hosts. Clunan intercepts though, back to Will Evans. Now Boyce, and there's a spring in the Kings Lynn Town step as Stevens goes to press. Clunan over the halfway line to Scales, surrounded by players in blue shirts, but gets the pass away here to Tyler Denton. Powers it into Connor Smith. He would have done well to keep that ball at his feet. And Kings Lynn Town have it back. Paul Jones, the host goalkeeper, clears it away from inside his own penalty area. Only finds Michael Clunan. Scunthorpe United back in possession. Clunan plays in low down the right. That's too long for him. Kings Lynn Town goal kick.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff, certainly from our perspective, will be disappointed with the goal that we conceded there, the Josh Coulson scrambled effort. Again, we work so hard offensively on set pieces, we equally work as hard defensively on set pieces and identifying the Kings Lynn threats. But I think coming into the game and we knew that they were a big side and they were a fairly direct side and they would look to load the box, then you are going to come under pressure. You ultimately are going to concede free kicks and set pieces and corner kicks, and they've managed to capitalise on that. But I still think that we look the more composed and we look the better team out of the two on the pitch tonight.
Cybalski wide to the left with Morrison. It's Jones actually into the penalty area. He goes, still going Jones to Jack Smith, and he gets in a muddle with Stevens. It's Stevens on the ball, lays it back out to Morrison, takes a deflection, and in double quick time Kings Lynn Town have come from behind to take the lead here at the Walks. They didn't stop the rampaging run of Billy Jones into the penalty area, and despite Jack Smith and Ben Stevens getting into a bit of a muddle, it was laid back to George Morrison, who drove home right-footed from just outside the D. It took a deflection on the way through and found the bottom right-hand corner. And just like that, Scunthorpe United behind here at the Walks. They trail in the 40th minute by 2-1 at Kings Lynn Town.
Well, that's football for you, Ollie, isn't it? You know, it's a great strike from George Morrison, probably about 25 yards out, trying to fizz it. It obviously took a nick and deceived Ross Fitzsimons. But yeah, just on the back of them getting back into the game at 1-1 only a matter of minutes ago. Clearly the tails are up, drove forward, got into a wide position, put our back line under pressure, and on the second phase the lads managed to strike one, took a nick, and all of a sudden you find yourself 2-1 behind from being fairly comfortable at 1-0.
5 minutes of normal time to go at the end of this first half. Scunthorpe United behind 2-1 here at Kings Lynn Town. Commentary with myself, Ollie Turner, and Scunthorpe United Director of Football, Lee Turnbull, here on BBC Radio Humberside. Scunthorpe United going in search of an equaliser in the final stages of this first half, with Connor Smith midway inside the Kings Lynn Town half on the left. Tyler Denton short to Jacob Butterfield, then gets it back. Now behind the halfway line with Will Evans, rolls it underneath the studs of his right boot and then carries it forward, well out of defence now. Still going Will Evans, and he's looking to fire it over the other end of the stadium. Slices that well wide of his right boot, but doesn't get the height on the shot to clear the ground. Kings Lynn Town goal kick.
Yeah, you could see Will there sizing up the opportunity at 35 yards. He managed to nick another couple of yards. He gets to 30 yards. He's thinking, oh, I fancy this. Little bobble, and it goes well wide. But he has got really good technique as well. He'll be disappointed with that.
Now that things have settled down, Lee, what happened in that 4 minutes? What went wrong?
Getting the 1-goal lead, and we're looking fairly comfortable in terms of possession in the middle of the park. Kings Lynn have got their threats, of course they've got their threats, and throwing the ball into the mixer and making us defend, and they have got a big physical presence. You look at the first goal, which was a scramble, again off a set piece. The second goal, on a second phase, the ball's been thrown into the box, it's been cleared, and it's took a deflection. I think the deflection, obviously, wrong foots Ross Fitzsimons, and it nestles into the bottom of the net. But fair play to Kings Lynn, they're spirited. They've got two quick wide players. They've got the big lad up front that, he's obviously going to be causing us a handful with his physicality. But I still think there's something in this game for us. Listen, we're not even halfway through. Okay, we're a goal down, but there's enough in this game, certainly, for us to take something back to Glanford Park with this evening.
Coulson swings it forward. Cybulski with the header on. Boyce waits before shepherding it back to his goalkeeper, Ross Fitzsimons, and that almost allowed Ben Stevens to close in for the hosts. Then Callan McFadden is fouled over on the far side, and it's a free kick for Kings Lynn Town.
It certainly stirred the natives up as well, hasn't it? We haven't heard much of their support this evening, but certainly beneath us they're getting a little bit vocal. And rightly so. Their team have responded really well to conceding that set play goal from Andrew Boyce, and they managed to get the noses in front.
Free kick will come in deep from the Kings Lynn Town left then. Evans heads away, doesn't manage to get the ball out of his own penalty area though. Flicked up into the air by Coulson. It'll drop eventually for Tyler Denton to clear. As I say that, he was waiting for the foul from Callan McFadden. Those two go to share a kiss and a hug, and it's a free kick for Scunthorpe United inside their own penalty area. You'd hope with Kings Lynn Town taking the lead that this game may start to open up a bit more than it had been already though.
Yeah, I mean the difficulty what we will face is probably what we're seeing now. All of a sudden it becomes a back five, doesn't it? It becomes very narrow in the middle of the park, where they're trying to obviously, as most teams do, go man to man on Butterfield and try to stop Jacob playing. But also, once you get your noses in front at home, then yeah, the onus is on us to have a right good go second half.
Butterfield into Whitehall, tried to flick it into Jason Law, but the ball was behind the Scunthorpe United 26. They'll try again. Hooked over the top by Butterfield. Now Denton brings it down and finds Clunan in the centre circle. The Iron captain looks up and spreads it out wide to the right hand side to Barrows. Into the penalty area, flashes in the cross. Brilliant sliding tackle at the byline there, trying to see who it was in the end. It may have been Callum McFadden. He puts it up behind for a Scunthorpe United corner kick, but that ball from Clunan started it all.
Yeah, better from us, as I've said about Mikey Clunan playing that pivot role, looking to dictate play, and he manages to get Ross Barrows in on that right back overlapping position. Forced a corner kick.
Butterfield over it again. It's right-footed this time. The outswinger. Whitehall was lurking, but there's a header away. It drops to Will Evans inside the Kings Lynn Town box, left-hand side. Digs out the cross, right-footed. Hargreaves with the header away. Nodded on by Jones. And Stevens will try and roll and ride the challenges, and he's done well there, has Stevens, for Kings Lynn Town. Flicks it past Jason Law. It stayed in play. Still with Stevens. He's claiming he's fouled. And the referee does give the decision in the Kings Lynn Town players' favour, and it's a free kick for the home side.
Yeah, he's done well for them, Ben Stevens, tonight. You know, as that almost free roll as a 10 behind the striker, but drops deep into areas where he can get on, he can wriggle, and forcing a free kick. But he's forced a number of free kicks from our players tonight. Ben Stevens looks a useful player.
3 minutes of additional time at the end of this first half. Kings Lynn Town 2. Scunthorpe United 1. They've come from behind in the space of 3 minutes to take the lead just before the break. Boyce heads away the free kick. Nodded on by Coulson, but his header goes straight out of play for a Scunthorpe United throw-in. Wide on the right. Inside their own half at the moment. Barrows collects the ball, and he's ready to take the throw. He goes into Jacob Butterfield, who circles away from Stevens. Final touch was off the Kings Lynn Town player. It's another Scunthorpe United throw. Barrows goes back to Andrew Boyce this time. 1 minute of the 3 already played. Boyce pushes players forward before angling it up there right-footed. Whitehall with the flick on. Law thought he was in behind, but the flag is up over on the far side. And it's a free kick to Kings Lynn Town for offside.
Yeah, just stood in an offside position before coming back into play, and Boyce's picked him out really well, but Danny was stood in an offside position to start with, and then drifted back onside, but the linesman spotted it, and it's unfortunately for us an offside decision. But Jimmy will be really disappointed that we managed to get our noses in front in this first half and then conceded 2 goals, as you rightly pointed out, within a period of 3 minutes, when we were just getting into a stage of a game where I thought we had that controlled possession and we were probably the most likely to score the second goal in the game. But fair play to Kings Lynn, very spirited comeback from them.
They've got another throw, have the home side in the Scunthorpe United half, with Billy Jones, whose driving run led to the goal that saw Kings Lynn Town take the lead. Cyborski will bring down the throw towards the byline down the left hand side, tries to work room for a cross but retreats back to Jones, who does put it into the mixer, but no Kings Lynn Town players go to contest it. Just over 30 seconds of additional time left to play, maybe time for one final Scunthorpe United attack here before the break. Smith into Clunan, back to Will Evans, gets it into Andrew Boyce now, about 10 yards or so outside of the penalty area. Evans again onto his right foot, this time asking for players to come short. Maybe he'll lure them in and then go over the top, but does play the short pass to Connor Smith. Back to Will Evans again, midway inside Scunthorpe territory, pokes it forward towards the centre circle and then guides it wide to the right hand side with Butterfield. Drifts away from Cyborski. Butterfield back to Barrows now, and it's back into the Scunthorpe half again with Andrew Boyce. And that's that in terms of a very dramatic first half here at the Walks. Kings Lynn Town 2, Scunthorpe United 1. We'll do a half-time report rather, very shortly here on all BBC Radio Humberside frequencies with myself and Lee Turnbull. But at the break at the Walks, Kings Lynn Town 2, Scunthorpe United 1.
Row, I think. Grimsby Town 3, Slough 2 here. It's been a real roller coaster of a first half as FM listeners join us. Grimsby Town taking a 2-goal lead after Pike and Rose scored in the first 17 minutes. That you thought was just the start of a few more, but full marks to Slough Town, who've come back, scored 2 goals, and then the Mariners have got back in front just before the break. They're on the attack again here. Comes to Rose, the challenge is on him. Green will try and create space. Goes to Ganua on the right hand side. Halloran stops it getting to Ganua. It's headed away, and again the Mariners try to block, as they do, and that's the end of the first half. Well, what looked like an easy evening for Grimsby Town after 17 minutes has proved to be anything but. After 7 minutes, Grimsby took the lead. Ganua shot blocked, falling just nicely for Pike, and he scored. Then an Amos corner was flicked on by Marr, and Danny Rose turning it in from a narrow angle close in. You thought, well, that's going to be that, especially after the visitors lost defender Temi Awekwa, and player manager Scott Davis has had to go into the back four and the change of formation, but that actually worked for them a little bit, and they equalised after 20 minutes. A corner coming in, a terrible marking by Grimsby Town. Tyrese Dice in space about 2 yards from goal inside the 6 yards box, and he was happy to head it in. And then a nicely worked goal after 34 minutes. Got out away down the left hand side, played it in. Ogbonna, who's caused Town all sorts of problems on the right hand side, getting there before Amos to score. And it was the visitors who were looking more likely, but then after 45 minutes, another Amos corner, another flick on, and then it was Rakeel Pike to head it home. But they've done well, Slough, haven't they? And the Mariners a little bit fortunate to be in front, would you say?
Well, yeah, I think they've had more chances, haven't they? And they've scored 3. To be fair to them, I think it's a fair reflection on the amount of chances they've had. But they just look as frail at the other end, don't they? Unfortunately, and Slough come forward. They've got some decent players as well who can play a little bit. A couple of decent crosses in. The set piece that for the first goal was real good quality as well. And Town, they've got to be aware of what's going on here, because they keep conceding them free kicks, and every now and again Slough throw them in forward. They've got a bit of belief. They know they can score now, and it's not going to be over this game where Town keep conceding goals. Unfortunately, they keep creating chances, but
from
so do Slough.
Town's point of view, you would hope, wouldn't you, that they can go on now, having got that third one in the second half. Also, you don't know how the Slough players will tire. They've had a long journey up, only semi-pros, but they're still giving it their all.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a real concern, I think, for the Town fans, the way Town keep conceding these goals. It's real basic stuff. They keep shooting themselves in the foot and making it ever so difficult where they've got to go on and score 3 and 4 goals to win a game.
From the Mariners' point of view, the set pieces have looked a lot better the last couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely. Glennon got it right in the last game we saw at home, and again Amos today. His crossfield passing has been quite good, and his corners and delivery have been a lot better, and it's proved when you get that quality, we can score the goals.
Well, the half-time score is Grimsby Town 3, Slough Town 2.
So quite the half of football then in our 2 games here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport. 8 goals in the space of 2 lots of 45 minutes. The Mariners back in front against Slough, and at the moment heading into the second round and a trip to Oxford in the FA Cup. As for Scunthorpe United, they've got a bit of work to do, and they need to regain the top spot, because South Shields at half-time are on top. They're winning their game this evening. They're taking on Spennymoor Town, one of the playoff contenders at the moment in this stage of the season. South Shields 2-1 up. I'll go through the full scores for you in just a second. Don't forget you can talk to us after the game. 08000 66 5959. In the FA Cup then, the other replays taking place tonight. Horsham 0, Barnsley 3. Accrington Stanley 1, Doncaster Rovers at the half. Burton Albion 0, Port Vale 1. Derby County 1, Crewe Alexandra 2. Forest Green Rovers 4, Scarborough Athletic 1. Your digital and sounds commentary here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport. Grimsby Town 3, Slough Town 2. It's Salford City 1, Peterborough United 3 at the break. And at half-time, York City 1, Chester 0. In the EFL Trophy, Blackpool 2, Morecambe 0. Stevenage 4, Crystal Palace under-21s 2. Reading are beating Arsenal's under-21s by 4 goals to 2. So at the break, Newport County 0, Bristol Rovers 1, Carlisle United 1, Harrogate Town 0, Tranmere Rovers 0, Wigan Athletic 0. That one's on 78 minutes. Different kick-off times in some of these. Still 50 minutes played, early stages, I suppose, compared to some. Stockport County 0, Bolton Wanderers 2, and Shrewsbury Town 3, Walsall 2. And in National League North, just for Scunthorpe United fans, Bishop Stortford 0, Tamworth 0, Brackley Town 1, Gloucester City 0, Chorley 3, Darlington 0, Curzon Ashton 1, Blythe Spartans 0, Hereford 2, Banbury United 0, Kings Lynn Town 2, Scunthorpe United 1, UFM and BBC Sport commentary tonight on Tuesday Night Sport. Peterborough Sports 0, Boston United 0, Rushall Olympic 0, Alfreton Town 1, Southport 1, Farsley Celtic 1 and Spennymoor Town 1, South Shields 2, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. Elsewhere in sport, in football, Aston Villa defender Ezri Konsa says he's grateful for the opportunity to be handed his first call-up to the England squad. He's been facing the media for the first time at St George's Park, saying he knew his time would come and it was just a matter of when. While Jude Bellingham and Levi Colwill are the latest players to pull out of the England squad because of injury, and they'll miss the European qualifiers that are upcoming against Malta and North Macedonia. Real Madrid's Bellingham and Chelsea defender Colwill will return to their clubs. Captain Johnny Evans has been ruled out of Northern Ireland's final Euro qualifiers against Finland and Denmark. The Manchester United defender has a thigh injury. A man's been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter over the death of ice hockey player Adam Johnson, who was fatally injured in a match. The Nottingham Panthers player died after cutting his neck when playing against Sheffield Steelers last month. In tennis's ATP finals in Turin, Stefanos Tsitsipas was forced to retire just 3 games into his match against Holger Rune. That's because of injury as well. It means Rune registers the win. Novak Djokovic will qualify for the semi-finals if he beats home favourite Yannick Sinner tonight. And in boxing, 2-weight world champion Natasha Jonas will defend her IBF world welterweight title, against Michaela Mayer in her hometown of Liverpool on the 20th of January. The Briton will be making the first defence of her belt since stopping Canadian Candy Wyatt in July. BBC Radio Humberside Tuesday Night Sport, then back with our 2 commentaries in just a few minutes' time, but it's been a difficult start to life at Scunthorpe United for captain Michael Clunham. 4 games into the new season, he suffered a foot injury that kept him out until the end of last month. He returned in the 6-0 thrashing of Spennymoor Town, only to then be sidelined briefly with a sickness bug. Well, he's been telling Ollie Turner how he's feeling right now.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling fit, feeling healthy. I'm over the little sickness bug that I had a week or so ago, and the foot's feeling good. So, I'm in a good place physically.
We didn't get to talk much about it after the Boston United game, but how frustrating was it to pick up that foot injury when you did all the way back in August?
Yeah, it's never nice being injured. Obviously, coming to a new club, I was raring to go. I felt I started the season well. I think it was the 4th or 5th game in. Obviously, it happened at Rushall in August. And it was a frustrating one because it wasn't a clear, this is a 4 to 6 week injury. It was a bit of a niggly one, which we had to be patient with. I was out for 8-9 weeks, but it's really good to be back on the pitch now.
And then to get back and then miss the Bishop Stortford game due to that sickness bug, how much did that affect your momentum somewhat, having returned from injury?
It was a weird one. It came over me on the Friday evening. So I prepared ready for the game, and then it came over Friday evening, and unfortunately had to sit out of the Bishop Stortford game. But the lads obviously had a really good performance, played really well, got the 3 points. And that to kind of a bit of a setback for me, and it took me probably a week to get back to where I needed to be after the sickness bug. But we managed to get a good point on the road at Boston, and then we kicked on from there.
And how much are you enjoying your role in midfield at the moment as part of Jimmy Ball, as the fans are describing it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. The way we like to play is obviously a possession base, which is what I'm used to. It's what I'm good at. I like to organise on the pitch, and I like to think I probably bring the best out of others around me, which is what he's brought me in for.
For you personally as well, how's the move going? I know you were planning on moving up nearer the area. Has that happened yet?
Not quite yet. I'm commuting at the minute, which has been okay. The roads are okay. So it's an early start for me, which I don't mind. But yeah, it's not too bad. Obviously, with the away games coming up, we need to sort of logistically work out that way. But I've just had a newborn baby who's a month old. So when the time's right, we may look to move up here and be a bit closer to Scunthorpe. And
how are you finding life without the accountancy on the side as well now?
I'm enjoying it. I mean, the life of a footballer is obviously it's good. It's hard work. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It allows me to keep all my focus on the football and not have other commitments like that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
And apart from the commuting and looking after your newborn child, how else are you filling your newly found free time, I suppose?
Well, I'm spending a lot of time in the car, so I'm listening to a lot of podcasts and stuff like that. But yeah, when I'm not here at the football club, all my time is spent looking after the little one, really.
Any favourite podcasts at the moment?
I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan, a Joe Rogan podcast. I like the High Performance podcast, the Huberman podcast. Yeah, there's a few I listen to on there.
Well, that was Michael Clunan talking to Ollie. Let's hear a bit more from him, because having already scored some stunning goals this season in their bid to get out of the National League North, Clunan says he's privileged to be part of such a technically gifted team.
Yeah, we've got some great players. You go throughout the whole team. There's some really, really good footballers in the team. I mean, you got the likes of Jacob Butterfield, who can stick it in the top corner from anywhere, left foot, right foot. So yeah, we've got great players, but we've got a good blend of sort of youth and experience and technical players and lads who can roll the sleeves up and do the dirty side as well. So yeah, we've got a good blend throughout the team.
I know there will have been a few that you will have had to watch from the stands or from home, but what's been your goal of the season so far? There have been a few to pick from already.
Well, I think we've scored 5 or 6 free kicks, haven't we? But do you know what? There was one that sticks out to me. There was a goal, I can't remember which goal it was against Darlington, where I think it was probably 30, 40 passes. I think Beastie ended up scoring. But that's probably the one that, like I said, we scored some screamers, but that was a team goal I think that I enjoyed. Yeah, it was really good football. And I think it was at that moment where I think it really clicked for us, and that especially that night against Darlington. I think it was 4-0 or 4-1 in the end, but yeah, I think that was the night, and that was the moment where we sort of looked around and thought, yeah, we're onto something here, and it really clicked for us.
How much has that helped the atmosphere and the spirit within the camp as well, from that moment, knowing that you could be onto something great this season, even when at the time there was still a load of stuff off the pitch happening?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have the best of pre-seasons, to be honest. It was quite a new group, so it took a little bit of time to get used to one another, get used to how the manager wants us to play. But you look at the squad, and I think we always had confidence that it would come. So yeah, and winning breeds confidence. So sort of, we had a bit of a stutter, should we say, with the results, but hopefully now we're back on track, and hopefully the momentum can carry us through and pick up as many points as we can.
I know you spoke about that pre-season being difficult because so many new players coming together all at once, but what were the other challenges?
Yeah, it was a lot of new faces. I think it was 12 new signings. Obviously, the club had come off the back of a relegation, which is never nice, and it was kind of experimenting what works for us. We tried a few different formations, which were all good experiences because we worked out what worked for us and what didn't. So I think we found towards the end of the pre-season, I think it was the Ilkeston game onwards, we went for kind of a 4-3-3, and it clicked for us. And that's not to say we won't go back to the other formations, but I think we realised that was the one for us, and then we managed to build on that from there.
Every kick of every game.
The only place to follow your team live.
BBC Radio Humberside Sports.
That was Michael Clunan. I'll be back at full time with the fans panel. Your reaction as well, 08000 665959. Hopefully we're not talking extra time, because that means Grimsby Town have conceded again. Let's hope they can see that one through. Can Scunthorpe United get it back at Kings Lynn? Let's get you where you need to be. It is Grimsby Town against Slough Town at Blundell Park. That's on digital radio and online for UK listeners via BBC Sounds. On FM, it's on Freeview as well, channel 721 I should say, on 95.9 FM. And on the BBC Sport website and app. It is Scunthorpe United at Kings Lynn Town. Let's get to your commentary team there of Ollie Turner and Lee Turnbull.
Thanks, Mike. Work to do here for Scunthorpe United at the Walks to continue their unbeaten run and to continue their short-lived thus far reign at the top of the National League North. They're currently being knocked off the top by South Shields, with the Iron trailing at Kings Lynn Town here by 2-1. And we are back underway for the second half here on BBC Radio Humberside on 95.9 FM and online via the BBC Sport website and app. Scunthorpe United in those white shirts with the gold and black bands, black shorts and socks, attacking from left to right from where we're stood in the TV gantry for this second half. Kings Lynn Town in their royal blue shirts with the old gold on the sleeves, blue shorts and socks, shooting from right to left. They've given away a free kick through Coulson. I'll go through the team in a moment once we get through this Scunthorpe United set piece at the start of the second period. Jacob Butterfield is a lone man over it. There's a one-man wall as well for Kings Lynn Town. No changes at the break for either side from what I could see. Butterfield over it then. Thought about going short, but will drive it into the penalty area left-footed. Headed away by Crowther for Kings Lynn Town. Clunan puts it back towards the D. Another header back there from Cybulski, who's doing some defensive duties at the moment. And Kings Lynn Town will eventually bring it away through Jack Smith. Tries to poke it into Ronan, but across comes Connor Smith to intercept. And now it's back into the Scunthorpe United penalty area with Ross Fitzsimons, who clears away first time. It's another header from the Kings Lynn Town right wing back Ronan, eventually brought down by the visitors for Will Evans, just outside of his box, delayed in playing it back to his goalkeeper, but Scunthorpe United play their way out of trouble nicely. And now it's Andrew Boyce on the ball at the moment for the Iron, brings it up towards the halfway line, then passes it to his right hand side to Ross Barrows. Barrows puts it into the centre circle for Scales to bring under control, and he sprays it wide to the left this time to Jason Law. Jason Law having a run at Ronan, chops inside onto his right foot, thought about playing in his man over there on that far side. Here's Scales, then Butterfield, midway inside the Kings Lynn Town half, flicks it back to Clunan, and now Tyler Denton, thoughts about crossing, plays it into Smith with the touch on. And there was a run on there. I'm just trying to see who it was. Looks like Kean Scales. Yeah, couldn't get onto it first. Was smothered by the Kings Lynn Town players, and it ran through to Paul Jones in goal.
Yeah, good football, really good football. You know, Connor Smith over on that left-hand side there played a really cute ball inside to Kean Scales. Unfortunately for Kean, his momentum just got ahead of him a little bit, and he buckled. But yeah, a promising start from the Iron second half. Lots of possession, as we've seen before. Just got to get that next goal, Ollie. Got to get that next goal. Get the next goal, and I'm pretty confident we can go on and win this game.
Yep, Scunthorpe United starting this second half on the front foot at the moment. It's with Jacob Butterfield. Wide again to the left with Connor Smith. Just weaves in the pass right-footed. It's laid back to Clunan. Now Smith again trying to drift inside to get a shot away. Back to Clunan once more. Guided to the left-hand side. Cross comes in from the left. Way over the bar from Jacob Butterfield, and out of play for a Kings Lynn Town goal kick.
Yeah, uncharacteristically out of play there from Jacob Butterfield. Normally so reliable, any areas of the pitch, left foot or right foot, but that one just a little bit too heavy, and just sailed out for a goal kick. But dominated the opening couple of minutes, which will please Jimmy. I'm sure he went into the dressing room at half-time certainly less than pleased, having conceded 2 quick goals in a matter of 3 minutes, and 2 avoidable goals. I think Jimmy will probably point out, although the second goal took a deflection, which I think wrong-footed Ross Fitzsimons. But he'll have got fired into the players. They've had a lot of possession in that first half, not really created too many opportunities, but here we go.
Cybulski, can he get in behind Will Evans? No, good defending from the Scunthorpe United centre-back to get there first. Pushes it into Tyler Denton, who's got work to do there, and just has to put the ball behind. Fortunately for the Iron left-back, the final touch was off a Kings Lynn Town player, and it's a throw-in to the visitors. Let's quickly run you through the Iron team. Fitzsimons is the goalkeeper. The back four from left to right, Denton, Evans, Boyce and Barrows. Butterfield, Clunan the captain, and Scales in midfield, with Smith and Law either side of Whitehall up front. On the bench for Scunthorpe, Kelly, Coogan, Elliott, Roberts and Jenkins. Scunthorpe United trying to carve out another attack here with Ross Barrows. Midway inside Kings Lynn Town territory. Now Law onto his left foot, plays in Barrows, who strikes it towards goal, put behind by Coulson for a Scunthorpe United corner kick.
Yeah, really good work there from Ross Barrows again. We've been more prominent with the full-backs on this side. The right-back, Ross Barrows, getting in more advanced positions than Tyler Denton, which is usually the other way. But fair play to Ross Barrows. He's tried to get in behind there on numerous occasions and forced a corner kick.
So it's going to be a left-foot delivery this time from Jacob Butterfield in towards the near post, easily cleaned up by Cameron Hargreaves. Scunthorpe United trying to get hold of the second ball. They have it now. moved to the left with Barrows, plays in Connor Smith down that left-hand channel. Still with Smith, has got 2-3 Kings Lynn bodies to try and get past. Retreats back to Barrows. Now Clunan, he's closed down by Stevens, but Scunthorpe United beat the press. And it's worked wide to the right-hand side here with Law. Scales is continuing his overlapping run. Scooped over the top by Butterfield. Finds Scales just outside of the penalty area. Lays it back to Law. Gets it onto his left foot and crosses in. And it's blocked, and it will slowly bounce out of play for a Scunthorpe United throw.
Yeah, again, it's down our attacking right-hand side. This time Keane Scales getting beyond and trying to link play. But, promising from the iron.
Here is Scales on the ball. Driven into Butterfield on the edge of the penalty area, right of centre, goes into the box now towards the byline, pulls it back, cleared away inside the 6-yard box. It's still alive though for the visitors. Drops to Whitehall, nice back heel from him, smashed away. Scunthorpe United still coming forward. Whitehall onto his right foot, loops it up into the box. That one's hacked away, drops for Andrew Boyce, who's still up from the back, and eventually Kings Lynn Town complete the clearance, but they can't keep the ball. Scunthorpe United keep coming. Denton to the left. Connor Smith drifts it infield to Whitehall. Lovely back heel from him. Smith can't get there first. It's Ronan who covers and fires it clear. But straight back with Scunthorpe United again. Evans to Butterfield. Into the centre of the park, on his left foot, thought about shooting from distance, flicks it into Law, back to Butterfield, into the box he travels, wide to the right now with Barrows, level with the penalty area, tried to wedge it back into the box. Kings Lynn Town cut that one out. Scunthorpe United still in possession. Scales finds Smith, Connor Smith, turns it around the corner, can't keep control of the ball though. And it's with Paul Jones inside his 6-yard box for Kings Lynn Town.
Yeah, good spell of pressure there from the Iron on the front foot, right from the kick-off of the second half, forcing Kings Lynn to defend, forcing them to defend deep as well, getting in some really good positions, 25, 35 yards out, where Jacob Butterfield can drop his shoulder and try and get a shot off. Just that Kings Lynn recognise that danger and almost swamp him as soon as he's on the ball. 2 or 3 Kings Lynn players around Jacob Butterfield. But good work from Ross Barrows in getting high and wide up the pitch and linking with Jason Law. That's been a real threat in this second half for the Iron. Good start.
Boyce to Butterfield, wriggles free of 2 Kings Lynn Town players. Has he taken a touch too many? He has, almost blocks the clearance inadvertently, and Kings Lynn Town themselves now try and come forward. Stevens still inside his own half at the moment, prodded wide to this near left hand side with Billy Jones, who works his way inside but loses control of the ball. Back with Scunthorpe United again. A frantic start to this second half, 8 minutes gone in it. Kings Lynn Town 2, Scunthorpe United 1 on BBC Radio Humberside.
Yeah, just trying to work that midfield rotation. Clunan, Butterfield and Keane Scales in there, trying to get Jacob free, trying to get him into them advanced areas, as we've seen, which is so clinical from distance. So much quality in either foot, but you've got to get him on the ball. You know, Kings Lynn are recognising that danger. They're all over Jacob Butterfield. Every time he gets it, 2 or 3 blue shirts immediately spring into action to try and stop him playing. But that's where, as I've said, the midfield rotation. Maybe Jacob drops into the pivot, Mikey Clunan goes into the 8 position.
Just quickly, the Kings Lynn Town team. Paul Jones as a goalkeeper, the 3 centre-halves are Callan McFadden, Coulson and Crowther, Billy Jones and Kean Ronan are the full-backs, Cameron Hargreaves and George Morrison in central midfield, with Jack Smith and Ben Stevens playing just behind Bartosz Cybalski up front. On the bench, Emmanuel Oke, Ben Isaacson, Ismail Fatajo, Tyler Kay and Gabriel Rogers. Scunthorpe United then bring the ball forward. It's Ross Barrows just behind halfway, and he just lumps that into space. There's absolutely no chance of Danny Whitehall getting on the end of it.
Yeah, uncharacteristic there. You know, normally we build up play through the zones, don't we? Normally Ross would look up, he'd see Mikey Clunan, he'd try and bounce one off Jason Law to work your way up the pitch gradually, but went route one there, overcooked it, ball went out for a goal kick. Just got to be patient. 2-1, okay, disappointed, of course we're disappointed to concede those 2 quick goals before half time, but still right in this game. Again, dominating possession, just got to be patient and make sure we're clinical when the chances do come.
Boyce with the header away. Who will it fall to here? It will fall to Kings Lynn Town and Jack Smith. Now Ronan Brings it out from the edge of the centre circle to Jack Smith again. Swivels past his man and flicks it into the path of Ronan. Will he be able to keep that in play? He hasn't. It's a Scunthorpe United goal kick. A reminder, you can get in touch with us during the commentary and on the football forum up until 10 o'clock on BBC Radio Humberside. Our text number is 81333. Start your message with the letters RH. Same goes for WhatsApp, 08000 321 333. And we're on social media at Humberside Sport on X.
In fairness to Kings Lynn, I think their two wing-back stroke wide players have been really effective as well. The boy Ronan that you pointed out, the Gibraltar international, and certainly Billy Jones on this side. He's got real pace, this kid, real pace. And when we are stretched in transition on the counter-attack, it's those two that are really prominent for Kings Lynn, forcing the issue in wide areas.
As you say, Lee, Cian Ronan, a Gibraltar international, 29 caps to his name for his country. I think Scunthorpe United are about to make their first change of the evening. We are on the opposite side from the dugout, so we'll be relying on the LED board for trying to figure out who's coming on. Clunan directs traffic and switches it over to the left. Denton keeps it in play with the header. Scales and Denton try to exchange the 1-2, but that's cut out. Stevens down the line. Cybulski's there first, head of Andrew Boyce. Down that right-hand channel, Cybulski with the back heel down the line. Ronan has played the percentages, got the final touch off of Tyler Denton, wins the throw.
Yeah, good centre-forward play there from Cybulski, wasn't it? In that channel area, and did well to force the throw-in. But, yeah, it looks as though we're going to make a change, doesn't it, Ollie?
Is your eyesight better than mine? It looks like Callum Roberts really. From here, maybe.
Who said that? I was going to say. it probably will be Cal Roberts.
We'll wait and see. I'm seeing a flash of a 10.
Yeah, anxious to get Cal Roberts on the pitch, you know. Anxious to get good minutes into Cal Roberts, meaningful minutes. Not at the end of the game for 5 minutes, but a good 25, half an hour stretch for him. Because we need him to get up to match pace, and we need him to get back on the pitch, because he could be really, really instrumental in the remainder of our season.
I think that substitution is going to happen now, and the player coming off is Jason Law in the 58th minute. The first change of the night is for Scunthorpe United, and it's Callum Roberts who's coming on.
Yeah, done all right, Jason Law, done okay. Callum Roberts, like I say, when he's fit and firing, Ollie, this kid could be a real player at this level. He'll come on the wide right area, obviously predominantly left-footed Callum, so again he'll play that inverted role and look to get shots off with that left foot, and he's got a wonderful left foot, the kid. He just needs to get himself up to match pace, get himself fit now, and get some meaningful minutes into his legs.
Let's see what he can do. He's got just over half an hour to have an impact on this one. Clunan flicks it over the halfway line to Jacob Butterfield. He looks over his shoulder to see where Cybulski is in terms of the press. Now Barrows, edging his way towards the penalty area, lays it back to Roberts. His first touch of the evening, goes to the byline, then goes down, claims he was fouled. The decision, just a goal kick.
Yeah, we were probably at a bad angle without copping out. The defender blocked our view on it, but Callum Roberts there again, chopped onto his left foot, tried to work it back on his right foot to get an opportunity to cross the ball, and went down under pressure. I don't think there was much in it, Ollie, I must be honest. I don't think there was much in it.
Didn't get to this WhatsApp message, by the way, from an anonymous listener on WhatsApp, listening at my home in Darlington. Good to hear Lee Turnbull tonight on the commentary. Keep it going. Well, that was when they were 1-0 up, unfortunately.
Probably me mum. She's from Stockton, it's only 7 miles from Darlington. Thanks, mum. Keep the messages coming.
Throw for Scunthorpe United here on the right. Barrows gets it back into the centre of the park with Will Evans, and it's over to the left again with Tyler Denton. Moves infield, surges forward, picks out Butterfield in space, 35 yards from goal, onto his right foot, then Scales. Now back to the left again with Connor Smith. Scales continues his run, but Smith comes inside on his right, finds Denton. Back to Smith, looking to work room to shoot, maybe one touch too many there, and Stevens gets in first for the visitors. Lofts it forward, only finds Will Evans. Scunthorpe United will have to try again. Boyce to Cal Roberts. Back into the Scunthorpe United half with their goal scorer this evening, Andrew Boyce. Callum Roberts again on this near right-hand flank. Roberts with the short pass inside to Butterfield. Butterfield slightly right of centre, flicked into Danny Whitehall, twists and turns away from Morrison. Gets room to manoeuvre the pass wide to the left again. Denton. Back infield to Clunan. Butterfield. Swarmed by bodies again.
Every time, innit? Every time he gets the ball, he takes his first touch, Jacob. When he gets his head up, there's a couple of blue shirts there, all over him, over him.
Had 3 surrounding him on that occasion. Denton to Butterfield. Morrison closing in from behind, but keeps the ball moving. Now Roberts, 30 yards from goal, onto his left foot, shoots over the bar, finds the car park again. Not my car.
You know what, I actually don't mind that. I know the ball's ended up in the car park, but I don't mind that. The fact that we've got Callum Roberts in a position on the pitch to drop onto his left foot, a la Butterfield sometimes, to get a strike off, because he's got such a good left foot. All I will say at the moment is for all the possession, we haven't really worked the goalkeeper for Kings Lynn in this second half. For all the possession that we've got, we're trying to find that perfect goal sometimes, and you know what, give us a free kick 25 yards out with the technicians we've got on the pitch and we've got a chance. But also get Jacob Butterfield freed up in the middle of the park, we've got a chance. Unfortunately, Kings Lynn's game plan is very much to stop Butterfield, and they're doing it quite well at the moment.
Flicked over the top by Whitehall. Smith latches onto it, goes past one, then another into the penalty area. Claims there was a trailing elbow there from Crowther, but then lets it go. It was almost brilliant there from Connor Smith, but the final touch, just one touch too many, and that allowed Kings Lynn Town to get back and deal with the situation.
It's eluding us, isn't it? You know, we've seen Ross Barrows, we've seen Jason Law, we've seen Connor Smith wriggle into the box, chopping it and trying to get inside to get shots off, but fair play to Kings Lynn, they've defended really resolutely this evening and worked really hard out of possession, Kings Lynn, because we've had the majority of the ball throughout this game. But I must say, out of possession, Kings Lynn's shape's been really good, the discipline's really good, but their energy and robustness as well has been really good this evening.
Just over an hour gone, still Kings Lynn Town 2, Scunthorpe United 1 in this National League North affair at the Walks. Scales is played in down the right by Barrows, drives it back, it was beyond Callum Roberts.
I go back to my point about Danny Whitehall. He's the only one in the box, Ollie. You know, Kean Scales has burst down there and again got himself in a great position. He looks up and he's thinking, I can only hit Danny Whitehall. I'm going to have to pull it back to the edge of the box and hopefully get a midfield runner on it. We've just got to get a little bit closer to Danny Whitehall. From them wide areas, the opposite wide man has got to bust the gut to get in alongside Danny Whitehall. One of the midfield players, maybe Kean Scales, although he was caught on the right hand side, they've got to try and get closer to him and even beyond him. At times we saw Jacob Butterfield at Banbury going beyond Danny Whitehall. We've not seen it this evening.
Barrows down the right, no urgent press from Kings Lynn Town, so he gets the pass away wide to Callum Roberts onto his left foot, works room for the cross, but then the cross isn't great. It's blocked comfortably by Kings Lynn Town. Scales, now Butterfield, 30 yards from goal, wriggles free of one, then 2 challenges to Smith, back to Callum Roberts. Roberts now urging players to move wide to support him, finds Barrows. Barrows back to Michael Clunan, left of centre now with Kean Scales, dummied by Whitehall, no one making the run in behind. Kings Lynn Town goal kick.
Yeah, it almost becomes like a keep ball session in training, you know, loads of passes, loads of movement, plenty of rotation. No end product at the moment. You know, I'd rather when you're in wide positions, if you're going to keep whipping it into the box, trust me, at this level defenders will make mistakes, but you've got to get bodies up, as I've said, to support Danny Whitehall. For all the possession we've got, we still haven't worked the Kings Lynn goalkeeper.
You mentioned Jacob Butterfield earlier not making that run beyond. How much of that though could be down to the sickness bug that he's had over the last few days?
Oh, listen, when you're not 100%, it is difficult. It is absolutely difficult, and you've got to be at full tilt. Doesn't matter what level of football you play, you've got to be at full tilt. And he's by far the most gifted player at this level. But when you're not quite 100%, it can take a little bit out the legs. And I'm not suggesting that with Jakesy tonight, because he has tried to get on the ball, but a Banbury who was so effective when he was a little bit further up the pitch, getting in and around Danny Whitehall.
Boyce for the iron. Over to the near side with Ross Barrows. In the Kings Lynn Town half, then goes back to Boyce again. Boyce takes a touch over the halfway line. Looks up, decides what to do. Attempts to switch play wide to the left. That doesn't come off, and nothing really is coming off for Scunthorpe United in these last few minutes. We've played 20 in this second half, and Scunthorpe United, having taken the lead in this game at the Walks, still trailing Kings Lynn Town by 2-1.
And we've dominated possession. Just a bit anxious there, Boyce. I just thought he got into a position where he could have rolled it into midfield and lend it to one of the midfield players to again try and work our way up the pitch through the zones. Went for the big diagonal, unfortunately didn't execute it right.
Smith's pulled back by George Morrison inside his own half. Referee just wants a word. He wants more than a word with George Morrison here. He's going to give him a yellow card for that cynical tug of the shirt.
Yeah, that's what's called a good yellow in the game, isn't it? I think Kean Scales was bursting away over the halfway line there, and George Morrison tugged him back and took one for the team. But we've got to remain patient. Just got to keep going. Just got to keep trying to force the issue, trying to get in good wide positions to get the ball in the box.
Barrows tried to guide the ball into the penalty area with his chest. It didn't come off. Nice idea. Back to Clunan. Now Roberts into the penalty area. Right hand side. Pulls it back. Morrison's there first. Kings Lynn Town just getting there first on every occasion. Just when Butterfield thought that ball may be his, in nipped Morrison. Scunthorpe United throw. Midway inside the host's half. Down the right. Clunan infield to Butterfield. Butterfield on his left foot, trying to swipe and steer Morrison away. Digs out the pass, scoops into Barrows, back towards the halfway line with Andrew Boyce. Takes a touch onto his right foot, has Stevens for close company. Butterfield first time into Roberts. Roberts being pressed closely by Callan McFadden. Scunthorpe United go back into their own half. Will Evans now on the edge of the centre circle, left of centre, flicks into Clunan, manages to bring it under control. Play continues. Late challenge on Clunan. Now Roberts, one step over from him, into the box he goes, tries to push the ball and dissect two Kings Lynn Town defenders. That doesn't work either. Scunthorpe United trying different things, but Kings Lynn Town have an answer at the moment.
Yeah, you're right. We are trying to find a different way, but too often I think as though too many touches in and around the box. You know, at times when you are trailing in a game, it's just got to get out wide and you've got to whip them balls in and make the defenders defend. At the moment, they're condensing play, Kings Lynn. They're really narrow. They're actually fairly comfortable, the back line, because we haven't really, again, got into positions where we can get Danny Whitehall 1v1. And I think that's the key. I think if you can isolate your centre half up against, isolate your centre forward up against the centre half, we might get a little bit more joy.
Scales' pass is intercepted by Stevens. He just lumps it forward. Cybalski is cutting a very isolated figure up front at the moment, as all other 10 outfield players are behind the ball for the home side at the moment. Scunthorpe United will try and unlock that Kings Lynn Town defence again with Butterfield into Clunan. Now it's Scales. Wide to Tyler Denton. Has to go back. Being double teamed by Kings Lynn Town at the moment. Clunan, it drifts past him, but here's Denton again on the ball. Now Butterfield. Midway inside Kings Lynn Town territory. 1-2 between him and Denton. Butterfield's in, can strike it from distance. Takes a deflection on the way through, and that took all the power out of Butterfield's shot. And it's a comfortable save in the end for Paul Jones.
It did. Excellent last-ditch defending there from Cameron Hargreaves, but that's the first time really that Jacob Butterfield's managed to work a position to get a clear strike at goal, but a last-ditch deflection from Cameron Hargreaves took the pace off the ball. But better. But like I keep saying, you know, just want to see us get a little bit more advanced in wide areas, get Cal Roberts on the ball, get Connor Smith on the ball. Drop your shoulder and whip balls into the box. Let's get more good quality delivery into the box that Danny Whitehall can feed off.
Kings Lynn Town with a rare spell on the ball. Just heads up in our digital radio commentary. Grimsby Town 4-2 up at home to Slough in the FA Cup. Arthur Ganua with the goal at Blundell Park. As the ball goes back just about to Ross Fitzsimons in the end.
Yeah, did well there, Ross.
Andrew Boyce is on it. I'll get to a text that we've had in in a moment with thoughts on this second half performance, but Scunthorpe United in possession again with Andrew Boyce to Butterfield. Boyce again, still inside the Scunthorpe United half at the moment, holds out his left arm, asking what's on for me at the moment. Still Boyce.
Yeah, Kings Lynn just happy to sit into a 5-4-1 shape, you know, just sitting deep and asking questions of us, try and break them down.
Butterfield launches it over the top, has got Barrows in behind down the right-hand side. That's a brilliant tackle, to be fair, from Billy Jones, the left wing back. Clean, timed it well, made all of the contact with the ball, and puts it out for a Scunthorpe United corner kick when he could have so easily conceded a penalty there.
Good play offensively from Scunthorpe and defensively from Kings Lynn there. So a really good phase of play. Excellent ball from Butterfield. Great take from Ross Barrows and excellent defending from the Kings Lynn.
It's going to be left to Callum Roberts to take the corner kick. Headed away on the edge of the 6-yard area by Cameron Hargreaves. Ronan went down under a challenge from Danny Whitehall in the box, and Kings Lynn Town thump it away. That text in 81333, start your message with the letters RH from Case to Iron. Nice spells of possession from Scunthorpe United, but credit to Kings Lynn Town, the ball is always getting closed down. No space for Jacob Butterfield or Danny Whitehall.
Yeah, good analysis.
Keep your thoughts coming in. The WhatsApp number 08000 321 333. We're on Twitter, X rather, on social media at Humberside Sport. Football Forum up until 10 with Mike White. You can give us a call, 08000 665 959.
2 subs incoming. Here we go.
Yeah, let's test the eyesight again.
Danny Elliott.
Definitely has got to be one, hasn't
Danny Elliott.
Who is going to come off? Danny Whitehall is the first to come off, and Danny Elliott will replace him. So that's a like-for-like change up top in the 73rd minute. And while I make a note of that, Lee Turnbull will be keeping an eager eye on who else is coming on.
I think it's Mikey Kelly coming on.
Push Denton up down that left-hand side?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, it's happened before, hasn't it, where Connor Smith makes way and Tyler goes and plays in that advanced role on the left-hand side. Let's have a look.
It's Keane Scales who is coming off.
Okay.
So confirmation of those 2 changes.
I think it's Jenks, isn't it? I think it's Jack Jenkins. I saw the 3. One of my eyes is working. Yeah, 23 Jack Jenkins.
So the 2 changes then in the 73rd minute. Danny Elliott and Jack Jenkins are on. Danny Whitehall and Keane Scales coming off. And Jimmy D shuffling the pack, seeing what he can do with his final 2 substitutions here at the Walks tonight.
Yeah, it just gives us a bit more energy. I think it's fair to say, you know, that Danny Elliott's a little bit quicker than Danny Whitehall, gives a different problem for the Kings Lynn centre-backs to think about. And Jack Jenkins in midfield is industrious player, gets up and down. So yeah, listen, sometimes you got to roll the dice. And I think that's what Jimmy's doing.
Plays back underway, and it's Scunthorpe United who have the ball. Barrows plays in Roberts down the right, being watched closely by Billy Jones. Roberts tries to go on his left foot, then back onto his right, and that is more astute defending from Billy Jones there before whacking away the clearance. It's brought down by Will Evans. He's being put under pressure by Stevens. Evans clears away for the visitors. His clearance is flicked on by Barrows. Across comes Callum McFadden to put it out for a Scunthorpe United throw. Level with the penalty area on the right. Barrows back to Butterfield, in towards the edge of the penalty area with Roberts onto his left foot. Lays it back to Clunan. Now Jenkins with his first touch of the night, and it's not a good one. He's given possession away. Hargreaves takes a heavy touch to drive the ball past Clunan, but Clunan is covering well. Then just looks over his shoulder, waits for the contact from Hargreaves, who gives the assistant over on the far side an absolute hammering. Surprised he didn't get a booking if the referee had spotted that, and a free kick's taken quickly by the visitors.
Yeah, clever play there from Mikey Clunan, but we haven't seen anything of Kings Lynn in this half, innit? You know, Scunthorpe United, they're kicking from left to right. Obviously Kings Lynn the opposite way. We haven't seen anything of Kings Lynn as an attacking force in this second half. It's been all Scunthorpe, but we've still not worked the goalkeeper. We've still not really created a clear-cut opportunity in this second half for all the possession that we've had.
Long down the right-hand side from Kings Lynn Town. Jack Smith for the home team was trying to latch onto the ball first, but Scunthorpe United recover possession. Now Barrows behind the halfway line on the right. Down the line it goes to Roberts. Loose touch from him. Callum McFadden comes across. Puts it out for another throw.
Yeah, Callum's more of an out-and-out winger, Cal Roberts, you know, and he's saying there to Ross Barrows, slide me down the outside, let me get 1v1 with the defender, let me try and chop it inside onto my left foot, but play me down the outside so I've got more space and room.
Barrows dummies away from Stevens. Now Butterfield rides the challenge of Morrison, rolls it underneath his right boot into Jenkins.
And there's the blue wall again, isn't it? The blue wall.
Elliott with his second touch, edge at the penalty area, left hand side, gets the cross in, no one there in the 6-yard box. Kings Lynn Town clear away comfortably.
Did well there, Danny Elliott, didn't he? He's rolled the centre half, the outside centre half of the 3 on the right hand side. He's rolled the centre half and managed to clip a lovely ball onto the edge of the 6-yard box. That's where we need a white shirt on the end of it, not a blue shirt.
Just under a quarter of an hour to go of this second half at the Walk. Still Kings Lynn Town 2, Scunthorpe United 1. On 95.9 FM, online via the BBC Sport website and app as well. Clunan into Ross Barrows. 1-2 attempted between him and Jack Jenkins. Billy Jones there again. He's having a good second half, and it's brought down well by Cybulski. A rare foray forward for Kings Lynn Town. Cybulski plays in Stevens down the left. Into the penalty area he goes. Onto his right foot, shoots. That's blocked. He'll get to the rebound first with a Kings Lynn Town player and knocks it back to Billy Jones. Jones to Stevens. The Fleetwood Town loanee continues his overlapping run, and here he is in front of the left-hand touchline, onto his left foot, gets towards the dead ball line, final touches off of Ross Barrows, puts it behind for a Kings Lynn Town corner kick.
Yeah, fair play there to Kings Lynn, and Billy Jones in particular, the left wing back or left wide player in their 3-4-3 system. He's been really good tonight. He's got good pace and forced a corner kick. This is what they'll have been hoping for, Kings Lynn, a set piece in the second half. You know, the big guys are up now. We've got to make sure that we defend this.
Stevens from the left, right-footed. Good header away inside the 6-yard box from Danny Elliott. Who will get there first? It's Connor Smith. Gets the touch off of Morrison, who, geez, the supporters up beneath us in the terrace. And there is going to be a second change about to be made by Kings Lynn Town. And again, we will wait for the LED board to go up. Pick out the numbers from here as one of the backroom staff puts them in. Play continues in the meantime though, as they try and get that change ready. Denton on halfway, back to Will Evans, the left-sided centre half, dribbles the ball into the centre circle, still going over the halfway line with Evans. Evans dinks the short pass into Jacob Butterfield, rides the challenge of Hargreaves, gets the ball back from Ross Barrows now. Butterfield skips past Morrison. Now the next contender, Hargreaves, turns away from him, but that allows Morrison to nip back in, and then Butterfield concedes a foul, and it's yet again, Lee, one touch too many.
Yeah, we're just getting bogged down a little bit, aren't we, when we get into the final third, because everything's so narrow and we're trying to dance our way through, and as I've said before, a wall of blue shirts. You know, fair play to them. Their 5-4-1 system defensively out of possession makes it really, really difficult to break down, and it will take a bit of magic from Jacob Butterfield or Connor Smith, or, you know, it'll take a bit of magic, I think, to get that elusive second goal. Let's hope we can grab it.
Wonder if Ben Isaacson's about to come on for the visitors, a defender. No surprise there as Stevens gets onto the end of a loose ball and just immediately lumps it goalwards. It's well wide. He's claiming it took a nick on the way through. Goal kick though to Scunthorpe United, and that change will now be made, and my suspicions were correct. Ben Isaacson is coming on, and he will replace Jack Smith.
I must say as well, Ollie, you know, another fantastic effort from the Scunthorpe United fans tonight, as was seen at Banbury last week. 220 hardy souls. It's not an easy place to get to, Kings Lynn, having left the ground around 3:30 and got here at 6 o'clock this evening. But a real good effort again from the Scunthorpe United faithful. And it's a cold old night here in Norfolk, isn't it? But excellent effort as per usual. Yep, and as I always say, you know, again, if you're able to, get yourself down to Glanford Park on Saturday, cheer the boys in the FA Trophy. It's a competition we're desperate to do well in. against Darlington as well. I'm sure they'll bring a few, so get yourself down if you can possibly do it on the weekend. Come and support the boys.
Yeah, if you're not here tonight, thank you as well for listening on BBC Radio Humberside. And if you can't go on Saturday, we'll have full match commentary of that FA Trophy second round tie at home to Darlington as well. But still 10 minutes of normal time to go in this game for Scunthorpe United to try to at least find an equaliser here at Kings Lynn Town. Barrows back to Clunan. As I say, the first change of the night from Kings Lynn Town a moment ago. Isaacson on for Smith. Roberts with the cross on the right-hand side. Jenkins with the free header. And Elliott has turned it over the bar from the edge of the 6-yard box. Glorious chance to level it up for Scunthorpe United. And Danny Elliott's put it over.
And you know what? It's a cross from a wide area. All of a sudden we've got a midfield runner in Jack Jenkins getting in the box. He gets up, cushions it down. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And Danny Elliott swivels on the 6-yard box and fires it over. You're just thinking there, come on Danny, get a good connection on that, get a true connection on it, and that goes in the back of the net. But again, I go back to my point. Deliveries from wide areas at this level, force teams to defend, get midfield runners in the box. You need to get them white shirts in the box and on the end of these crosses.
Oh, Roberts got space to run into here. Jones has missed the header. He's backtracking really well though. Just got a toe poke on the ball, and then another Kings Lynn Town defender in racing backwards. Gets an inadvertent touch on it to put it behind for a corner kick.
Come on, corner kick. Here we go. Jacob Butterfield, left foot. Put it on the money. Where's Andrew Boyce? Get Boycey on it.
Grimsby Town 5, Slough Town 2 now. Hunt with the latest goal there. Corner kick comes in from the right from Butterfield towards the back post. Header on from Will Evans. Turned away on the goal line. Not sure if it was Smith or a defender who got the touch. Put back in by Clunan. Headed away again by Kings Lynn Town. That pass from Clunan on the third occasion doesn't come off, and Morrison thumps it clear.
Yeah, the delivery was good from Jacob Butterfield. Will Evans there got the first contact, and then it's a scramble. It's a scramble scene, very similar to Kings Lynn's goal from Josh Coulson. They managed to get a toe poke on it and force it into the corner. Unfortunately for us, again, a blue shirt managed to clear it. Just need one clear opportunity, Ollie, and I fancy us to nick a point here. We fully deserve a point. Arguably on possession and chances created, although there's been few and far chances in this game of football this evening.
Into the channel again from Barrows to Roberts. He just can't get past that stubborn, stern Kings Lynn Town back line at the moment. This time Callan McFadden putting the ball out for a throw with Barrows from the right to Butterfield on the edge of the penalty area. Turns onto his left foot. Then away from Stevens, he manages to get the ball into Jenkins. Barrows again, could have crossed right-footed. That allows Hargreaves to get in there and touch out again for another Scunthorpe United throw-in on the right. Barrows, infield to Clunan. Back to Barrows, level with the Kings Lynn Town penalty area. Here's Butterfield. Now Boyce. Cybulski closing down well, that lone figure up front. And it's back with Fitzsimmons. Now Will Evans inside the centre circle. Over the halfway line he goes. On his right foot. Spreads the pass out wide to the left-hand side with Denton. Back to Connor Smith. Looks up. Turns it forward. Elliott can't get there first. They'll try again, Scunthorpe United. Over on the far side. Denton. Into Connor Smith. Back to Denton. Flicks it forward. And across comes Crowther to smash it out of play for a Scunthorpe United throw-in on the far side.
Yeah, and again, this is maybe where we miss Regan Ogle. You know, you pointed out about the comparison with Ross Barrows and Regan Ogle. What Regan Ogle's got is a missile of a long throw, and on nights like tonight, sometimes you just have to go a little bit ugly and get it in that box.
Butterfield crosses in from deep, headed away on the edge of the penalty area by Cybulski, and Stevens lashes it forward. It's a foot race between Isaacson and Evans is there first. Back into the Scunthorpe United penalty area with Ross Fitzsimons, who then casually works the pass back to Evans again. Here is the Scunthorpe United central defender. Looks up, goes long this time, right-footed. Boyce is still up front at the moment. Bounces through to Jenkins in the box. Was just trying to pull the trigger, and Coulson got there first to put it behind. Referee's checking that Andrew Boyce is okay. Got that important flick on in the first place, but Scunthorpe United once again denied.
Yeah, and I think it was Boyce's presence that led to the corner kick. You know, he's a big physical presence, and it looks as though that Jimmy's thrown him up front there just to create a little bit of havoc and try and get runners off him. The likes of Danny Elliott's pace and Callum Roberts up there. Why not? Why not?
Corner from the right. Butterfield, outswinger, right-footed. Evans again gets the header on. He leapt above everyone else in there, but his header took a deflection on the way through, wide of the far post. It's another Scunthorpe United corner kick.
It's a great leap from Will Evans, great leap there, and he's got a connection on it, and obviously it flicked off a blue shirt for a corner kick. Come on.
Butterfield goes across to the left-hand side on this occasion. He'll take it right-footed again. Boyce, Evans still up from the back, as is Barrows, in towards the near post, flick on, and it's put over the bar again. And it's a Kings Lynn Town goal kick.
I think there was more of an argument for that being a corner kick. It looked as though it came off a blue shirt for me, but we've got an injury, and
Danny Elliott.
Danny Elliott's calling on the physio. Physio's coming on now.
He was waving quite frantically for the Scunthorpe United physio to come on. I'm trying to see who's down here at the moment. It's hard to pick out a shirt number, so I'm trying to guess off the boots. Let's see who's out there at present. At the moment they're still receiving treatment.
Is it Cal Roberts?
I think you may be right on that one, yep. Michael Clunan talking to the referee. We've got less than 5 minutes of normal time to go in this second half. Football Forum with Mike White until 10 o'clock this evening. You can have your say on this game. At the moment, Scunthorpe United heading for defeat at Kings Lynn Town. And they are almost certainly going to be knocked off the top of the National League North, because South Shields are thrashing Spennymoor Town away from home by 5-1. Being told that Grimsby Town are now 7-2 up at home to Slough Town in the FA Cup first round replay at Blundell Park. That's on digital radio.
Did you say South Shields were
5-1 up?
Wow, local derby as well against Spennymoor.
There's another big score in the National League North, which I'll get to in a moment. Latest scores, according to the BBC Sport website: Bishop Stortford 1, Tamworth 1, Brackley Town 1, Gloucester City 0, Chorley 7, Darlington 0. Darlington right down there in the relegation zone. Curzon Ashton 3, Blythe Spartans 0, Hereford 3, Banbury United 1. Of course here, Kings Lynn Town 2, Scunthorpe United 1. Peterborough Sports 0, Boston United 2, Rushall Olympic 1, Alfreton Town 1, Southport 1, Farsley Celtic 1, and Spennymoor Town 1, South Shields 5.
Just shows you, Ollie, doesn't it, on Saturday, I think it was, wasn't it, when everything went for us, all of the results went for us, and then tonight
winning at Tamworth.
Tonight, the boot's on the other foot, unfortunately. Can't quite assess what the injury is. Is he looking at something?
His face or
what
it looks like.
I mean, Danny Elliott was quite animated, wasn't he? You know, to try and get Dorian Mars, the physio, on as quickly as possible. But
as we say, Callum Roberts is still down at the moment, and this looks a pretty serious one. It's also going to mean a lengthy amount of stoppage time at the end of this game.
He's had some terrible luck, Callum, since coming to the football club with his injuries. And he's a player that we're desperate to get on the pitch and showcase, but is he getting to his feet?
Yeah, he's being pulled up at the moment. He didn't entirely look as if he had all of his balance and wherewithal about him when he was hauled up. He's still getting his head and face seen to, and he will walk off. He'll need to go off anyway. The referee's saying he can't continue, and he's fallen back down to the ground. And this does not look good.
No,
I'd imagine he must have some kind of concussion, but I'm guessing from here.
When you sit down, so again, he looked as though he was really unsteady on his feet there. The kid's in a little bit of trouble, which is always really, really awful to see on a football pitch. But they're asking for the stretcher.
Yeah.
But as soon as he got to his feet, Ollie, didn't he?
It was awful.
He unfortunately went back down on the ground. Let's hope it's not too serious, but stretcher now coming on for Callum Roberts.
Yeah, Danny Elliott and Michael Clunan are going to be with him every step of the way for this. And, well, our thoughts go out to Callum Roberts. He's had a torrid time of it since joining Scunthorpe United. This only his third appearance for the club after picking up that ankle injury in the pre-season friendly with Hull City back in July. It's been a long road to recovery since then. And this does not look good for Callum Roberts. As we say, the stretcher is on. Jacob Butterfield is also watching on. The ambulance workers and security staff on at the moment to make sure Callum Roberts is helped onto that stretcher as comfortably as possible to make sure there's not any further injury caused.
It's not been a good omen on Tuesday nights recently for us, Ollie, unfortunately. If you remember, Regan Ogle went off at Banbury last week with a serious shoulder injury, and now unfortunately Callum Roberts is getting stretchered off here tonight at Kings Lynn. That doesn't look great, does it?
Also,
let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, let's hope he's okay. It also means, although it pales somewhat into comparison, we hope that Callum Roberts is okay, that Scunthorpe United will be down to 10 players because they have made all 3 of their substitutions tonight. And we've played well over the 90 minutes of normal time, so there's going to be a fair amount added on. But our thoughts and wishes go out to Callum Roberts.
Well, Jimmy's left Boyce up front, so he's left Andrew Boyce up front alongside Danny Elliott. So we're definitely having a go for it, that is for sure, but not really created too many chances in this second half. Danny Elliott's one that was over the bar, probably the clearest of the chances that we've had in the second half. For all the possession that we've had, we haven't really worked the goalkeeper enough tonight.
Well, I think a Kings Lynn Town player also got a fair whack in that melee in the box, because there's a player over on the far side with a quite large amount of bandaging at the moment.
Terry Butcher-esque bandage, yes.
Unless he's not even come on yet. Yeah, he's not. He's trying to stay behind the touchline, so he must have picked that up in a previous game. But Kings Lynn Town preparing a second substitution, and as I say that, Will Evans has given a foul away from a long ball forward. Cybalski has invited the contact, and Will Evans has gone into the book as a result.
Oh, they'll just wind the clock down now, I'm sure. They'll slow up play Kings Lynn at any opportunity. In fact, I'm quite surprised that they're going to actually throw this one into the box, but we're leaving 2 up against their back 2, so they're going to have to pull another one back to mark 3v2. But yeah, they've committed 2 of the 3 centre halves up anyway. So
more bad news for you. That yellow card is Will Evans' 5th of the league campaign, so he will pick up a 1-match ban.
Yeah, that'll be a league game as well.
Free kick comes in from the right hand side. It's arrowed towards the back post. Coulson headers it on. No one there to turn it goalwards, and Clunan hooks it clear. I think I may have seen 10 minutes of additional time at the end of this second half. I mean, we've played well over 3 minutes beyond the 90 anyway, so we'll see how that one worked out. Scunthorpe United now going more direct, lumping it forward. I think that's Cameron Hargreaves, who's got a bandaging round his head, who's come back on. And now there's another melee over on the far side between Ben Isaacson and Jack Jenkins, and Jenkins concedes yet another free kick.
Is your suspicion then that Cameron Hargreaves and Callum Roberts perhaps came together and it was a head collision? Yeah. Given obviously Cameron Hargreaves' hefty bandage on his head, but hope that Callum Roberts is okay after that what looked like a nasty head injury.
Yeah, Cameron Hargreaves at the moment not got a number or a name on the back of a fresh shirt that he's obviously had to put on due to some blood, and now Kings Lynn Town will make that second substitution that I was previously referring to. Ben Stevens comes off. He's worked hard tonight.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? Yeah, been impressed with Ben Stevens. Yeah, really lively in the role behind the striker, the main striker, Kupliski for Kings Lynn. Yeah, Ben Stevens was really effective, particularly in the first half.
And it's Gabriel Rogers who comes on for him. Last played at Bude Town last season, having left Kidderminster Harriers in January. He's to be back further down south. He's now moved back up to Norfolk. And it's a goal kick for Scunthorpe United. Fitzsimmons pumps it forward, right-footed. Boyce again the target. He wins the header on. And then there's Coulson, who steams in with a towering header of his own to put it back into the Scunthorpe United half. It's lumped forward. Hargreaves nods it on, and then it's Rogers there with his first touch, who just lumps it forward directionlessly. Brought down by Clunan, skips away from the first tackle, then the second of Morrison. Evans now. Bit of composure from him to guide it wide to the right to Barrows. Elliott's peeled wide to pick up possession. Crosses in, right-footed, chested down by Boyce. Laid off to Jenkins. Again, waited too long to shoot, but Kings Lynn Town almost get themselves into a mix-up before bringing the ball clear.
Yeah, smothered again, weren't we, in the middle of the park there. Jack Jenkins looking to get it out of his feet and trying to wriggle through, but again, smothered by the blue shirts. They've done a good job on us, as I've said, out of possession. They've been really good, they've been really disciplined, the shape's been good, and they've nullified our threats.
Barrows crosses in from deep, hacked clear, drops to Jenkins, he can't bring it under control. Coulson with the clearance from the D, straight back with Scunthorpe United. Lofted over the top from Evans, but Barrows was caught flat-footed with that one. Clearance from Billy Jones for the hosts. Brought down by the knee of Evans. Here comes Scunthorpe United again. Butterfield drives it wide to the right-hand side to Barrows. He crosses in, header away by Callum McFadden. Clunan, Butterfield, midway inside the Kings Lynn Town half. Centre of the park, back wide, centre right to Clunan. Here's Barrows again. Time and space to cross, does do so. Boyce with the glancing header into the roof of the net.
Yeah, just a little bit far out. It was a little bit behind Boycey there. Ross Barrows has crossed it in, and it's almost on the edge of the box, isn't it? Certainly 16 yards out. Just reaching back, Andrew Boyce. Managed to get a contact on it, but no power in it, and it just looped onto the top of the net.
Well, we've played over 6 minutes beyond the normal 90, but given the 10 were added on after 3, it's difficult to say where we are in this game.
Yeah, they're slowing everything down out the Kings Lynn, and rightly so from their perspective. You know, they're 2-1 up in the game, they're against 10 men. Yeah.
Full time on digital radio as Scunthorpe United almost get themselves into a spot of bother. It's finished Grimsby Town 7, Slough Town 2. In the FA Cup first round replay at Blundell Park. We'll be reuniting our frequencies in a few moments' time on BBC Radio Humberside. As Scunthorpe United go in search of an equaliser. Cross in from the left from Connor Smith. Important header away at the near post for Kings Lynn Town. They'll try again, will the iron here? Barrows inside onto his left foot. Look clearly to be bundled down there for me. No free kick given. Hargreaves will attempt to bring it away. He's blocked off. Back with Scunthorpe United and Jacob Butterfield. Just outside the centre circle, left of centre. Dances away from Morrison. Now Elliott pushes it forward first time. Can't find a teammate. Lumped forward on the half volley from Morrison, and Cybulski could be in, won't be in, because the offside flag is up on the far side.
Yeah, rightly so. Yeah, good spot from the linesman, but yeah, he wasn't in offside position. Gives a chance now for Ross Fitzsimons. Put it down, Ross. Good quality. Load it into the box. Try and get that first contact to create an opportunity. Not had many of them in the second half. Certainly clear-cut opportunities.
Third and final change coming for Kings Lynn Town. Emmanuel Oke, the holding midfielder who was signed from Margate in the summer, is coming on, and he will replace Bartosz Cybulski, the lone striker. That tells you everything that you need to know about what Kings Lynn Town are going to do here.
Yeah, he's a big lad, is Bartolski. He's done pretty well tonight.
Okay, on. Free kick for Scunthorpe United from that offside decision. Just outside of the centre circle, right of centre, behind the halfway line. Fitzsimmons to take. Floats it in towards the penalty area. Elliott turns it towards goal. Straight into the gloves of Paul Jones. He didn't really make a clean connection with that first time on his left foot, and it was an easy save in the end for the Kings Lynn Town goalkeeper.
Yeah, Ross Fitzsimons fizzed one in there. I think Boyce is up with the centre half. It drops for Danny Elliott 6 yards out, but you're right, not clean enough the contact, not assured enough. Kind of snatched it in a little bit, but comfortable for the goalkeeper. That's 2 chances Danny's had.
Fitzsimmons will try again. Volleys it forward. Coulson with another crucial header, and it's Kings Lynn Town are onto the second ball with Gabriel Rogers. Turns away from Butterfield, tries to play in OK, who's gone up front. Normally a midfielder by trade, but it's back through to Fitzsimons. Thumps it forward again on the volley. Ronan with the header back into the Scunthorpe United half. It will drop for Isaacson here. Down the right wing. Played it inside to Rogers. Turns away from Evans. Still going. Lovely few step overs there. Slightly unnecessary. Keeps the ball though for Kings Lynn Town. They try and hold it up over on that far side. Rogers again goes down cheaply, but he's got the free kick.
Oh dear, more step overs than Les Dennis on Strictly, wasn't it, previously? And then he goes over really softly there, doesn't he? But yeah, game management is so important. They're 2-1 up in the game, and they're going to use every trick in the book, aren't they, Kings Lynn? But if they see this out, they'll see it as a massive scalp beating Scunthorpe United tonight. I'm sure they'll be absolutely thrilled and delighted. And we go away, a little bit disgruntled this evening, a little bit, thinking we got that first goal and couldn't quite capitalise on that.
Again, you can see the Kings Lynn Town tactic here. Rogers holding it up, surrounded by 4 players in those white Scunthorpe United shirts, and they've given away a free kick again. And Kings Lynn Town are seeing this out. We've played 11 minutes at least of additional time.
Yeah, we're about done now. Referee's got his whistle to his mouth, ready to blow. I think. Don't think there'll be too much more of this game this evening.
As it's held up towards that right-hand corner flag, and Kings Lynn Town find a player in blue. It's played into Hargreaves in the box. Could wrap it up. Good save from Fitzsimmons. Morrison on the rebound. Does seal the 3 points for Kings Lynn Town. George Morrison seals the deal for the hosts. First shot fumbled away by Fitzsimmons. He was onto the rebound in quick flash time, and Scunthorpe United are falling to defeat, a first in 6 league games, and they are falling off the top of the National League North table to be replaced by Tamworth at this moment in time. In the dying embers of this game, it's George Morrison, his first for the club, the Fleetwood Town loanee. He makes it Kings Lynn Town 3, Scunthorpe United 1.
Yeah, good bursting run there from Hargreaves, managed to get himself in the box, powerful left foot shot. Ross Fitzsimons made an excellent save, diving away to his right, couldn't quite get on his feet, and it was Morrison, sharp as a tack to be fair to the lad, followed it in, smashed it in the back of the net. Game over, 3-1 Kings Lynn.
So referee he's gonna blow for play to resume, and we'll keep going here. Kings Lynn Town 3, Scunthorpe United 1. We're on air until 10 o'clock tonight. Have you say on the Football Forum with Mike White. 8000 665959. Scunthorpe United looking to pull one back. Shot from the edge of the area from Connor Smith, put behind for a goal kick. Final touch off an iron player, and Kings Lynn Town have the goal kick. And they are seeing this out comfortably now.
Well, it was a classic counter-attack goal, wasn't it? We've not seen anything of Kings Lynn as an attacking force, even against the Irons 10 men. But Cameron Hargreaves burst into the box, powerful shot, parried, and their boy Morrison was there first to ram it in the back of the net for a 3-1 scoreline. Slightly harsh on us, I must say, but for all the possession we haven't created enough this evening.
That's that. Scunthorpe United have been beaten here at Kings Lynn Town by 3-1. They've suffered their first defeat in 6 league matches, and their reign at the top of the National League North, back at the summit of the division, was short-lived. They had taken a lead in this game all the way back in the 16th minute. Andrew Boyce's first of the season, heading home from a Jacob Butterfield corner kick from the right. But Scunthorpe United's efforts were all undone in the space of 3 minutes in that first half. The first goal from Josh Coulson, the second from George Morrison, and the Fleetwood Town loanee wrapped it up in stoppage time to give the home team a much needed 3 points as they try to wriggle their way free away from the relegation zone in this division. Your thoughts on the way in the final few minutes of the programme on BBC Radio Humberside But Lee Turnbull, the final word goes to you here at the Walks.
Yeah, frustrating, Ollie. You know, we got a goal up off a good set player. Andrew Boyce, powerful header in the bottom corner. Looked really comfortable in the game. Lots of possession in that first half, and then the first goal goes in. So they get a scrambled goal, and you're thinking, okay, fair enough. Get to half time at 1-1. Within 3 minutes, Kings Lynn are ahead. Again, a shot from the edge of the box, slight deflection that took it past Ross Fitzsimons. The second half was one-way traffic. It was all Scunthorpe without creating too many clear-cut opportunities. The two best opportunities probably felt the substitute Danny Elliott skied over the bar, and then the other one the keeper comfortably saved. And then the sucker punch right at the end after an unfortunate incident with Cal Roberts. 10 minutes of added time, and in that 10th minute of added time, a shot that Ross Fitzsimons managed to save off Cameron Hargreaves. And it was the boy Morrison scoring his second goal of the evening following up. And it looks now as if it's a fairly comfortable 3-1 win to Kings Lynn. It's anything but that. We must have dominated 70% of the possession tonight. But we've got to create more opportunities. We've got to be a little bit braver in the final third, maybe in wide areas, and commit bodies into the box. Kings Lynn game plan worked really, really well, Ollie, really well. 5-4-1 in the second half, narrowed off the pitch, made it so difficult for us to break down. We couldn't get the magic man Jacob Butterfield on the ball enough in the final third to get strikes on goal. He had one strike on goal, I think, in the second half, but every time he was on the ball he was swamped by 2 or 3 blue shirts, and that's credit to Kings Lynn. Their game plan worked and they've done a job on us.
Have your say on the Football Forum with Mike White up until 10 o'clock on BBC Radio Humberside. But it's finished here at the Walks in the National League North. Kings Lynn Town 3, Scunthorpe United 1.
Thanks, Ollie. Thanks to Lee Turnbull as well. Ollie will get reaction from Jimmy Dean, I would imagine, on that one. We won't get that on air before we finish, I would imagine, at 10 o'clock. We're waiting to see if Ben Davies comes up or Sean Pearson to get reaction to Grimsby Town's win tonight. They are through to the second round of the FA Cup. The start of an FA Cup run begins for the Mariners again. Can they go as they did last year as far in the competition? Well, for the time being, we'll take the second round. They will face Oxford, the highest placed side in the competition in round 2. Let's head back to Blundell Park and have a quick word in the final few minutes, trying to get hold of our fans panel callers. You can get in touch with us as well. 08000 665959. Got a few minutes left on the programme. Text 81333 for RH at the start. John Tonda has been watching that one. JT, 7-2. Does that tell the tale?
Well, it's him and Sean together, they're doing it together, I think. I said, do you fancy it?
John Tonda, can you hear us?
Yeah, but the problem is, you see,
JT can't hear us at the moment. He's chatting away. We'll try and get him back in just a second. I don't know if we can head back to the Walks, can we, and see if we can chat to Lee Turnbull. Let's try again. Let's go back. Let's go back and see if we can chat to John Tonda, who's at Blundell Park for us. JT, does 7-2 tell the tale?
We can hear you now. No, it doesn't really. I mean, you feel sorry for Slough, really. It was only really the last 10 minutes when they really, really tired. I think, after the fourth goal, or the fifth goal where he went in, that's when they really started to struggle a little bit, I think, of, the fourth goal. Especially because they'd come out of the second half so well, the non-league side. And for 15 minutes, they'd been camped inside the town half. It took a brilliant header from Danny Rose to clear off the line, and then even after the goal like that, Carter had to produce a really good save as well to stop the Alexander going through. But and then you could see the heads go down, and from then on, really, it was every time Town went forward, they looked like scoring, and they usually did.
Gary Croft still alongside you?
Yes, he is.
I went a bit high pitched there, Crofty. Not quite sure what happened there. Maybe the excitement of a 7-2 scoreline. Interesting as well. I've just noticed, talking about goals going in, Town go to Forest Green Rovers this weekend. They banged in 5 against Scarborough. So if that's anything to give us a tee up for Saturday, then it could be an interesting one. But as far as Town's performance, what stood out for you?
Well, Arthur Ganua, really. He was the main man first half. I thought he got the ball in good positions. He was always a threat, coming inside, outside. Just the way he takes the ball, his touch, real soft touch in between players, going past players, and then second half carried on the same, and then gets his goal as well. And then reverse passes to Hunt, who gets one as well. So he was the highlight, really. But the highlight, really, if they're still listening, is the Slough team, really. I thought they were superb, really, for 60 minutes. Give Town a right good game, really, and better team second half. They came back into it from 2-0 down, and it was only when they got the fourth, just see their heads go down, thinking, can we come back from 2 down again? To do it, and they just lost it a little bit, didn't they? And Town made the subs at the right time. Credit to the two managers. Saw Danny Amos struggling at left back against Bonner, who had a real good game for them, and made that change. And then all of a sudden, Town got the goal, and it was just one-way traffic sort of once they got the 2-goal lead again. And bit of a shame for Slough, but it's nice to see the goals flying in, some confidence returning again as the game went on. Great energy from Jamie Andrews going forward as well, who didn't stop running, another 90 minutes under his belt as well, and got Luke Waterfall getting a game. A few people staked their claims for places, I think, tonight.
We'll be back to Blundell Park in the next couple of minutes if we get word before we're due to finish at 10 that one of the management team are there to give us reaction. If not, that will be available online. We'll put links on our social media at Humberside Sport on X. We've literally got a couple of minutes left on the programme, but we've managed to get hold of Phil, one of our fans panel who's been at the game. Phil, you've got a couple of minutes, but give us your thoughts as a Town fan tonight.
Fantastic, Mike. Absolutely fantastic. Love it. 10 goals in 2 games. What more can you ask for?
What stood out for you tonight?
I think it was a struggle tonight, to be honest. I think Slough, like Crofty said, Slough came and gave it a real good go. A real good header off the line at 3-2 down from Danny Rose in the second half. They came out in the second half and they showed some real intent, and we struggled to get hold of the game. But as soon as we'd scored the fourth, killed them off, and we was away. But yeah, it's nice to see the team going forward and actually having a go for a change. We walked out of 2 games thoroughly entertained.
That's the good thing as well, isn't it? Because they can be ties like that can be tricky. Slough, as you said, have given it a right good go as well. To be able to come out of it, not just with the victory, but in the end to put 7 goals past them, they're the ones that you can almost take that big sigh of relief, aren't you, and go, yeah, we're through it.
Yeah, and you know what? It's nice to see that there's a varied array of goal scorers on the sheet as well, because it gives everybody confidence, doesn't it? Ben and Sean are doing a real good job of including all the squad in this. So a lot of players are getting game time. They're all feeling confidence. It can only be really good for the team. I'm looking forward to the next few games, to be honest.
Yeah, Oxford. Well, the Forest Green on Saturday. I don't know if you heard me say they put 5 past Scarborough, so it should be quite a tasty one on Saturday now, shouldn't it? Based on that.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Now it's going to be 0-0. You realise that, don't you?
Hopefully we'll go there and show the same intent, and we'll play like we have been playing. They said the handbrake was off, and it well and truly is.